This is NFL Live for Week 8 with host Greg Gumbel and co-host Ahmad Rashad.
The legend of Joe Montana grew just a little bit more on Monday night. Today, Montana and the Chiefs try to keep the momentum going as they take on the Seahawks at Arrowhead Stadium. Hi, once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Mike Ditka, Ahmad, Joe Gibbs, and Will McDonough will all join us shortly. 6 days later, a lot of people are still talking about Joe Montana and that game-winning drive. It was a dandy, wasn't it?
Well, oh me of little faith. When the Broncos scored, I figured the game's over. Turn off the TV, I go to sleep. Woke up with a big surprise the next morning.
Yes, fun to read the newspaper, though, wasn't it? Let's get started with the game in Kansas City between the Chiefs and the Seahawks. Joe Montana's team coming off that miracle at Mile High. Today, the 38-year-old Notre Dame grad goes against a 24-year-old Notre Damer in Rick Meyer. Marv Albert and Paul Maguire have more on that matchup. Gentlemen.
All right, Greg, and first the injury update on Joe Montana. His status a question mark right throughout the week, but he will start this afternoon against the Seahawks despite the bruised ribs and a sore hip. So, you know, the Seahawk defense will look to take shots at Joe to try to wear him down. They don't want to see any more of Montana magic. We talked about Montana with all-pro defensive tackle Cortez Kennedy.
A quarterback like Joe Montana, you got to put hits on him. And we got to get pushed up the middle with me and the defensive tackles and get a lot of hits on him. Because if you don't put the hits on Joe Montana, he'll eat you up all day.
You know, Marv, Cortez Kennedy already knows. He said, look, you can't get to Montana from the outside. What you have to do is have that push up the middle. And what they want to do is every time that he throws the ball, they want to pound him.
And Seattle coach Tom Flores told us last night from an artistic point of view, he certainly enjoyed watching Montana magic on television Monday night in Denver. However, he said he would much prefer watching him from afar, not on the opposition sideline. Now to Ahmad Rashad, back to the studio. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Marv and Paul. Now, those of you who stayed up last Monday night to watch the Chiefs and the Broncos were treated to something special. Two of the best quarterbacks of this era bringing their teams back with fourth-quarter heroics, Joe Montana and John Elway.
There's still a minute and 13 left, and they had 2 timeouts. Everybody knows that's eternity.
We just felt, hey, let's go out there and do what we're capable of doing. We always feel like the biggest opponent is ourselves.
There's the throw. Walker's got it. Goes out of bounds over the 50-yard line. The folks wanted a shootout between the two, and they got it tonight.
We needed a touchdown, so they were going to give us a good portion of the field, try to let us eat up the clock.
If we kept them in bounds, we were playing zone to keep them in bounds, and we didn't do it. If we kept them in bounds, he'd have no chance to score.
Joe is back, has time. He's going to pump it once, twice, throw it out to the side. It's caught.
Our pass protection was good, and Joe had ample time to find the third and sometimes the fourth receiver.
Montana back to throw, 5-step drop, fires a slant, caught by Green. He's inside the, down at the 5-yard line. Montana takes the snap, back to throw, looking right, firing a pass that a leaping grab. Willie Davis, touchdown Kansas City. Willie Davis, touchdown Montana Magic.
Mike, I just can't understand it. These two quarterbacks, they do this so often, and no one can ever stop them.
pride, poise, confidence, and talent. But I think Wade Phillips alluded to the problem. They were in his own defense. The idea of his zone is contain people, keep them on the inside of the field, make the clock run out. They kept getting out of bounds. The guys weren't doing their job on defense. I think this is what Joe gave Joe all the time to throw the ball. They got to get somebody in his face. And if they don't get somebody in his face, he's going to beat you, and he did it again.
So if we had more time, we could trash the prevent defense for about another hour and a half, couldn't we?
Joe would get mad.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, Ahmad. Another dandy game early on. The Steelers and the Giants from the Meadowlands. The Giants have lost 3 straight after starting the year with 3 wins. The Steelers are 4-2, but will play without leading rusher Barry Foster. He sprained his left knee last week. Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy join us live from Giant Stadium. Dick?
Well, Greg, it's cloudy and rainy at Giant Stadium and in the New York area today, and that's made to order for a running game. And oh, these two teams love to run the football. In fact, the Steelers lead the league in rushing yardage. They're without Foster, but they've got a good backup, a rookie.
Yeah, they do. Foster didn't make the trip here. He's back in Pittsburgh with that bad knee. And Foster is so important to this Pittsburgh offense. Everything sets around his ability to establish control of the line of scrimmage, the play action. Last year when he was hurt, they win with him. They lose without him. Almost 20 yards more rushing per game. So they get Bam Morris. 3rd-round draft choice. He's bigger. He's faster. He may be tougher than Barry Foster. He's got to fill the role of Barry Foster today, Dick.
Bam broke Earl Campbell's records in the Southwest Conference. He's a 240-pounder. Now the Giants, they have Rodney Hampton back. He's their top man, and he's ready to go. But the question here is what's happened to another runner in that stable?
Where is Dave Meggett? First 3 games of the season, 3 wins for the Giants. The Giant coaches give Meggett 3 game balls. Last 3 games, he's disappeared. He's absolutely, totally disappeared. If the Giants have a chance today, Dave Meggett has to be busy, Dick.
So as Mike Ditka used to say to Walter Payton, it's run, 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 run today at Giant Stadium.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Well, these teams look an awful lot alike to you.
Well, these guys are right on the button. I mean, Dick and Bob hit it right on the button. They're a lot alike. They run the ball, play good defense. But the difference in this game, I don't think is going to be the running game as much as which quarterback, Neil O'Donnell or Dave Brown, makes the fewest mistakes.
All right, Mike. The Steelers are a game behind the Browns in the AFC Central. Cleveland hosts Cincinnati today. The Browns are 5-1. The Bengals are 0-6. And Beasley Reese has more. He joins us now from the Dog Pound. Beasley.
Oh, Greg, can you believe these dogs out here? Now, they've got a lot to howl about. Their team is 5-1 right now. Oh, my God. Even though their opponents have outscored them and outperformed them in many categories except for the main one, that being points on the board at the end of the contest. Now, I'm a big fan of Bill Belichick, the head coach of the team here, but he's got a lot of problems with 3rd down conversions, and he's gotten off to fast starts in the past, 5-2, and then 5-1 this season, yet they have not finished over 500 for the year. Now, I could get killed for what I'm about to say, but I believe that Cincinnati is going to give these guys some trouble today. They've got 7 #1 draft choices on their defense, and those defensive players will be trying to eat Italian with Vinny Testaverde at quarterback. Back to you.
Beasley, you're a braver man than I am, I guarantee you. Still ahead, a look at the relationship between players and coaches in the NFL.
I think you can cross the line, and the head coach is the boss.
You got to keep them separated.
Come on, Drew! Wake up, son!
We'll look at Dave Wanstadt's quarterback dilemma, and Mike Ditka talks with Giants head coach Dan Reeves. That's all coming up on NFL Live.
NFL Live is brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. By American Airlines, something special in the air. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
It's difficult not to be impressed with the coaching job Dan Reeves has done with the New York Giants. 11-5 last year and a 3-0 start this year. But lately, the Giants haven't looked good at all. 3 straight losses. Mike Ditka visited with Reeves.
Just hang in there, baby. Good things will happen to you.
Actually, you played 2 seasons. You went 3-0, 0-3. Now, I watched you carefully, and I talked to you after the 3-0. You gave the players some time off. You came back, and then you go 0-3. Can you put your finger on any one thing? Do you think there's one thing, or is it a combination of things, Dan?
Mike, I think it's a combination of things. You know, first of all, you've heard it said many times, you're not as good as you think you are, you're not as bad as you think you are. And I think that's true. You know, we were a team that was 3-0, and really in the 3 ball games, we had really done a great job of doing the things that you have to do to win games and not making mistakes. In the 3 ball games that we've lost, they made the plays, we didn't. You know, we made some mistakes in those ball games and it cost us. And we're just not talented enough that we're going to go out and can make those types of mistakes and usually overcome them. 1, 2, 3.
Well, you know, I was known as the guy who's put a little pressure on quarterbacks at times. I don't know why they ever said that, but I guess I did. But, you know, you might have put a little pressure on Dave this week. Explain what your motive behind the statement was.
Well, first of all, you know, I really didn't have necessarily a motive. I was asked a question, and, you know, I didn't say anything in the press conference that I didn't say to our entire football team at the time we made the decisions on who was going to start at the start of the season. I told our squad at the time, you know, look, everybody's got an opportunity now. We got some people that we feel like are qualified in backup positions. You know, it's the starter's job. You're going to have to prove to me that you can't do the job, and that's going to be over a period of time. I'm not going to jerk you out of a ball game because you had a bad game or a bad play. But I think the biggest assumption that was made of the whole thing is we lost 3 ball games. Apparently your quarterback must be playing bad. You know, Dave's done an awful lot of good things in the 3 games that we've lost. Unfortunately, he's made some throws that have been intercepted. But that's going to happen with a quarterback. That doesn't mean you've played a bad game. I've been pleased with the progress that Dave has shown. He really works hard. He's very dedicated to trying to get better. And, you know, I just answered the question, and then, you know, they took it and ran with it a little bit farther than they should have, I think.
You think this is your last stop in coaching?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I'm going to coach as long as I, you know, feel like I'm having fun, as long as you know, people don't fire me and I've got a job. But I'm still enjoying it. I mean, the young people that play the game are getting, you know, a lot of raps sometimes, but I think they're still the same as we were when we played. And they love the game. As long as they're, you know, fun for me to, you know, work with, and I really do enjoy working with them and enjoy the game, you know, I think this will be my last stop.
Dan Reeves says he still enjoys working with young people. Let's take a look at the player-coach relationship in the NFL. Last week, Jeff Hostetler and Art Shell exchanged some heated words after Hostetler changed some plays that were sent in from the sideline. Shell benched Hostetler for 2 series in favor of Vince Evans. And it brought to mind an episode in Minnesota a few years ago when Mike Ditka was all over Jim Harbaugh for an audible which led to a Vikings interception and a touchdown. Let's bring in Joe Gibbs, who is in North Carolina. And Joe, give us your take on Hostetler and Shell and on that whole player-coach relationship.
Well, let's analyze probably what happened here. There's one of 2 things. Quarterbacks normally audible plays. They're looking to run the football. If it looks like blitz, they're going to throw the ball or vice versa. And in this situation, many times the quarterback makes a mistake. Hey, if it's just a mistake, you come to the sidelines. Sometimes you discuss it, or in Mike Ditka's case, you jump all over the quarterback. But I will say this, that's one situation, and you talk those out, sometimes you argue about them. But if a quarterback blatantly changes a play that a coach sent in, now, hey, that's mutiny, and for my case, I think you bench him in that case. But many times, the quarterback and the coach get into confrontation on the sidelines at times, or period. The team's going to know what's going on. I think it's very important for the quarterback at some point, though, to realize the coach is in charge and he's got to back off. In this case, I think Haas went too far with the argument.
All right, Joe, what Joe is saying here is that it's a completely different case than just calling a simple audible, which a quarterback is coached to do if he sees the situation calls for it.
It depends on the situation. A lot of times you set up a game plan. You said, okay, here's a game plan we're going to go with. There's no reason to audible anything because we're putting in a game plan that will take advantage of every defense and every blitz situation. Leave the play on. It's not that bad. Plus, if you're playing in a place which is a dome stadium where you can't really hear the audibles, don't mess with it. But what Joe's saying is right. There is a reason to audible everything, and you give the quarterback that leeway unless you tell him before the game, no audibles. And I have done that.
All right, Mike, what was your relationship with Bud Grant when you were playing for him?
Well, first of all, I think as a player, there's one captain of the ship, and anything other than that is mutiny. But with Bud, I used to get upset at Bud, and I'd yell and scream and, you know, say everything I wanted to, get it all off my chest. I just made sure I was in my basement in a little room where nobody could hear me, and then we went on from there.
There's no recrimination from that, is there?
No, you must have a method to all that. It's not national television sidelines.
While we're on the topic of coaches and quarterbacks, Dave Wanstead is going back to his original starter, Eric Kramer, over Steve Walsh. In 3 starts under Walsh, the Bears were 3-0. They were 1-2 with Kramer when he separated his shoulder. This is bound to raise a little ruckus in Chicago. Mike, are you supposed to lose your starting job to an injury?
No, but Dave is right. I mean, he's the captain of the ship. He's got to make that decision. It's a tough decision. I really believe I would have stayed with Walsh until something bad happened. But Dave Wannstedt made the right decision.
What about you, Joe? What do you think about that move made by Dave Wannstedt?
I tell you what, he's got guts, because this is not the safe way to go. I think that, hey, when you got a quarterback operating the way Walsh has, you stay with him. Now, I will say this. I don't think a veteran that's been there a long time leading your team should lose his job because of an injury. But in this case, Kramer had only been there 3 games. But I agree with Mike. It's Wannstedt's call, but this is a gamble.
All right, Joe, interesting, too. Eric Kramer comes back against his former teammates. Up next, Will McDonough joins us with news and notes, including Deion Sanders' eventful day in Atlanta last Sunday. That's next when NFL Live continues.
Our big late game today at 4 o'clock Eastern Time is the Chargers and the Broncos, a rematch of the season opener won by San Diego 37-34. The Chargers are now 6-0, while the Broncos are 1-5 coming off the heartbreaker on Monday night. Jim Gray has more from Jack Murphy Stadium.
Thanks, Ahmad. We may be more than 3 hours away from kickoff here outside of Jack Murphy Stadium, but the fans have already begun to arrive, and tailgating is underway in full force. You know, one play pretty well sums up the direction of both of these teams so far this season, and it happened all the way back in week 1. The final play when the Broncos had the ball on the 3-yard line with 35 seconds left. John Elway rolled out to his right, fumbled the ball, Junior Seau recovered, and the Chargers went on to win. It has been that kind of a season for the Broncos. The ball just hasn't bounced right. They come off a very difficult defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night, and I asked John Elway just how difficult this week has been.
Kansas City was just disappointment, but we've had quite a few this year, so I don't know that this week was any worse, other than the fact that it was a little shorter, so it was a little bit better.
Well, how important is the injury factor? The Broncos have had 30 games missed by starters so far this season, the Chargers just 3. And the Broncos have had 15 guys undergo surgery, and the Chargers just 1. Now, might this be the week that the Chargers streak comes to an end? Well, yesterday, San Diego quarterback Stan Humphries told NBC Sports, quote, "I'm more aware watching the players this week that we don't appear to be as focused. We're a little too loose, and it's been in the back of my mind all week that this is the week we may not take care of business." We'll find out if Humphries has the proper read on his team. Well, that's the story, Greg, from here outside Jack Murphy Stadium.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Time to bring in Will McDonough now for his weekly news and notes, starting with the always low-key Deion Sanders. Will?
Well, Greg, Deion still has the attention of the National Football League. Every officiating crew in the league working today got a tape of this fight between Deion and Andre Rison last Sunday. And the message was, gentlemen, this is a fight. And whenever it happens again, throw the players out of the game. No exception. Fortunately for football fans across the nation, they get a chance to see Deion make this great interception and run when, as he passes the bench, he says, "Hey, look at me now," to his old Falcon teammates. They didn't like it, Greg. In fact, they thought he was chicken when he didn't come back into the game, saying he was hurt, but he is hurt, and he's probable for the game today against Tampa Bay. Don Shula's a little fed up about the stories going around about him possibly not being in Miami next year. Shula said this week he intends to be in Miami next year, either as the head coach or the vice president of football operations. He said he will make that decision at the end of the year, and if he's still happy, he will continue to coach. One of the guys making him happy is Bernie Parmalee, who had such a great game last Sunday with 150 yards rushing and his first real chance as a running back with the Dolphins. Parmalee's a wonderful story. He came out of Ball State 3 years ago, went undrafted, went back to school, worked nights in a bowling alley, 11 at night to 1 in the morning. Then at 2 in the morning until 9, he was a truck driver. He got his degree, got a chance with the Dolphins the next year, and now he's making the most of it. Jeff Hostetler and Art Shell had a well-publicized fight during the game last week. The men didn't talk for the next 2 or 3 days, but finally, at 7 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, on his off day, Jeff Hostetler went into Art Shell's office, and the two of them met alone for 3 hours. They worked out all their differences, and both say they're going to get along better the rest of the year, better than they ever have before. Greg?
All right, Will, thank you much. A timeout here, and then we'll wrap things up with our picks of the week right after this.
The Pick of the Week is brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 11 years. Mike Ditka was the only winner last week. so he's within a game of the lead. We'll have this week's picks right after this message from Honda.
Well, the picks competition is heating up. You need not worry about keeping score at home. We'll be happy to do that for you. Joe Gibbs likes the Cowboys over Buddy Ryan's Cardinals. Will is taking the Colts over the Redskins. Mike won last week by picking the Chargers 31-17, so he will pick the same score. More original thinking from Ahmad, who actually thinks Mike knows what he's doing. And I like the 49ers to score 49 against Tampa. You were cheering hard enough last week against the rest of us. You deserve the win.
Eventually, the cream has to come to the top, and it did. I just hope it doesn't turn sour this week, but I'm going to keep riding those Chargers.
And how long are you going to keep riding with the same?
We had a 3-hour meeting last week, and Mike convinced me that I should go with whatever he goes with.
We'll see you at halftime with scores and highlights. We hope you enjoy the game.
Hi, I'm Steve Sable, your host for NFL Sunday Ticket, and I'm back with 6 offerings from our Sunday smorgasbord. Today's 1 o'clock sitting includes Cincinnati at Cleveland on Channel 2. Now, those sack-happy Bengals are fresh off an 8-sack day against the Steelers last week. They still lost 14-10, but the Bengals will win a game this year, mark my words. I'd bet the house on it, or at least the garage. Now, also at 1 o'clock, Seattle is at Kansas City on Channel 4. Now, the Chiefs are coming off one of the great wins in Monday Night Football history, yet they can't afford to let down against the Seahawks. If they come out flat and lose, they could find themselves 3 games behind the Chargers in the AFC West. And on Channel 7, the Rams are in New Orleans to challenge a Saints running attack that's been having its problems. In fact, their longest run this season was a 21-yard scramble by their punter. In other games, Pittsburgh is at the Giants on Channel 3. The Bears are in Detroit on Channel 6. And the Redskins take on the Colts on Channel 8. So get after it and let there be football.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
It is a beautiful 62-degree day in Kansas City, a sellout crowd. Better than 79,000 at Arrowhead for the Chiefs and the Seahawks. Kansas City at 4-2, the 2 games behind undefeated San Diego in the race for the top spot in the AFC West, while Seattle at 3-3 with 2 straight losses following the good start. The Chiefs coming off Monday night's dramatic Montana Magic last-second win over the Broncos in Denver. And Joe hoping the touch continues against the likes of All-Pro Cortez Kennedy and a very sound Seattle defensive unit. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Paul Maguire. Paul, first off, the injury report on Joe Montana, question mark throughout the week. And as we mentioned on NFL Live earlier, despite the bruised ribs and the sore hip, he will be the starting quarterback.
Well, the one thing about the Chiefs, though, they don't want to have to throw the ball 50 times. If you take a look at their first 4 games in the 30s, very balanced attack. Now, 50 sometimes the ball game. If the Chiefs have to throw the ball 50 times, Montana will not make it through this ball game because Seattle wants to pound him every time he throws the ball.
Now, what does Seattle have to do to beat Kansas City? And a Seahawks, a club coming off 2 poor outings.
Well, if you take a look at the 2 teams that beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they ran the ball. Look at these guys. Bettis over 100, Means over 100 yards. Chris Warren is the key to Seattle. If Seattle can run the ball better than Kansas City, they will win this football game.
And Kansas City has won the toss, and they will receive. The deep man is Ron Dickerson. John Casey getting set to kick it off. Dickerson averaging almost 28 yards per return. That is 3rd in the NFL and had a superb night on Monday against the Broncos. Dickerson out to the 20-yard line. And brought down as he reached out to the 30. Put down by Orlando Waters, the Kansas City offensive line. Alt Zott, who had his problems, 3 holding calls in Denver on Monday night, and expects they'll be looking at him very closely. Grunhard, the center, Shields, and Graham On the other side of the line, the quarterback is Joe Montana, Kimball Andrews, Marcus Allen, the running backs, and the receivers Burton, Davis, and Derek Walker had a strong game on Monday. The rookie from Notre Dame, Lake Dawson, comes in as the extra receiver. And Montana looking to put it up on first down, able to connect on the screen play with Kimball Andrews. Picked up 7 on the play. The left corner, Carlton Gray, on the stop. The Seattle defensive line with Edwards, Nash, Cortez Kennedy, and the former Patriot Brent Williams. An underrated group of linebackers led by Terry Wooden, who many feel is having an all-pro season. Gray and Waters the corners, and Blackman and Robinson are the deep man. Waters playing for the injured Patrick Hunter. Now Greg Hill is in at running back for the second down and 3. And Montana able to float it out to the far side to J.J. Burton to pick up the first down. It was covered by Waters, and that's good for 8 more.
I said it right at the beginning. The Chiefs don't want to throw the ball 50 times. They come out the first 2 plays and they throw the ball. We got J.J. Burton is hurt on the other side, but they throw the ball on the first 2 downs, get a first down.
J.J. Burton in his 6th season out of Oregon. Just a moment ago made his 22nd reception. Here's a look at it.
Burton's coming. He looks like he gets hit in the hip.
So on the second play from scrimmage, the Chiefs concerned about one of their top receivers, J.J. Burton. This is a Kansas City team that has defeated New Orleans, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Denver. The 2 losses, the big surprise, shut out 16-0 by the Los Angeles Rams, and then they lost at San Diego by the count of 20-6.
We're talking to them about that Ram game where they got shut out. It just the Rams just controlled the football by running the ball with Bettis, and they just didn't give the ball up. And on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs gave the ball up 4 or 5 times in the ball game.
In a departure from Marty Schottenheimer's teams of old, as you touched on during the open, the Chiefs, the 2nd best passing team in the National Football League, right behind the New England Patriots, but that running game is 20th. They average only 91 yards per game, but they come out throwing the football.
Yeah, they do come out throwing the football, which is kind of strange to me because the Seattle Seahawks have only given up 3 touchdowns in the air, 4 on the ground in 6 games.
And there's Tom Flores, the president, general manager, and head coach of the Seahawks. Crowd reacting as J.J. Burton is back on his feet and very gingerly headed over to the near side, the Kansas City sideline.
It looked like he got hit on the hip. Now, if you take a look at these guys, like the running backs, the halfbacks at least, and the wide receivers do not wear hip pads. And that's an area where even Montana's got a sore hip because of that.
I will pass on a report on J.J. Burton as soon as it arrives here in the broadcast booth. When we resume, the Chiefs with a first down at their 45-yard line. Eric Martin making his first appearance of the season for Kansas City has come on, replacing J.J. Burton. The tight end Walker in motion. Off the pick. This is Greg Hill, who is walloped as he tried to make the cut across the 45. Terry Wooden, the outside linebacker, along with Antonio Edwards, getting to the rookie out of Texas A&M, Greg Hill.
Watch number 97, Rufus Porter, come in. They're going to cut it back to the inside. The linebackers are doing their job on the outside, Wooden, but when he cuts back in, Porter is there.
Picked up a yard. It's a second down and 9 at the 46. We're just underway. 2 minutes gone by with no score. And Montana connects with the tight end, Derek Walker. Carlton Gray is there to cut him down. Derek Walker, as we mentioned earlier, and a penalty marker is down. Walker playing for the injured Keith Cash. And on Monday night in Denver, 8 catches, 98 yards in his first Kansas City start.
Number 84 of the offense, 5 yards. Repeat second down.
See, I don't understand why you take this penalty on this play, because you'd be 3rd down and about 6, and you give I mean, look at this team. They're penalized. They're 2nd in the league in penalties, 9.2 per game.
Hit with 14 on Monday night. It sets it back to a 2nd down and 14, and it is Marcus Allen getting the call for the first time. Short pickup met by the middle linebacker Rod Stevens.
The Magnificent 7, but we're talking about the linebackers of Seattle. They are now the Magnificent 6.
Yes, that's the label that Cortez Kennedy has tagged them with. We had a long chat with Cortez last night, and he was saying how underrated he feels the Seattle linebackers are, but it is now down to 6 because Dwayne Pickett is a scratch because of a lower back problem. Again, the screen. Allen looking for running room and has a first down. He ran for 10 off the screen pass.
If Marcus Allen isn't the best 3rd down player in the league, he's probably in the top 2. Look at this pass to the outside. The screen is set up perfectly by Montana, dropping straight back. Now watch Marcus Allen go for the first down. Here it is again. Montana just sets this up perfectly. They get to the outside, and then Runard is the center who gets in front of the play, but they pick up the first down.
And a first down for the Chiefs at the Seahawks 44-yard line. Off the fake, Allen is hit back behind the line, and that a loss on the play. Rufus Porter was right there.
That time it looked like they had a blitz with Porter because he was in the backfield and he almost took the handoff. He was there when Marcus got the ball.
Paul Rufus, a guy who's made it back from an Achilles tendon injury suffered last year, sat out the last 7 weeks of the season.
Right up here on the left-hand side, you see Porter. He's in the backfield. This was a blitz all the way.
And it's a 2nd down and 12. Montana's pass was knocked down.
It was knocked down by Sam Adams.
And we have received a report on J.J. Burden. Suffered a lower back contusion, and his return is questionable.
Well, we just saw Sam Adams knock the ball down. He is Cortez Kennedy's rookie, according to Sam Adams.
And Cortez would agree.
That's right.
That's my rookie. He has him assigned. Montana off the roll on 3rd down and 12. And it's almost intercepted. Eugene Robinson diving for the pass intended for Willie Davis.
You know what's really amazing about Montana? He knows where he is at all times. He's right at the yard marker before he throws the ball. And he pulls it up and throws. Eugene Robinson is there, number 41, to make the play. They're going to have to punt.
And Louis Aguiar, who is having a superb year after having some difficulties last couple of years as a member of the New York Jets, leads the AFC, averaging better than 44 yards per punt. Kelvin Martin is back and calls for the fair catch outside the 15-yard line. A 31-yard punt. When we come back, the Seahawks to the offense. Rick Meyer and the Seattle offensive unit on the field for the first time. Last year, Rick set the standard for rookie quarterbacks, but feels in this his 2nd year, he's come on even more so. He says he is extremely comfortable, and we talked about it with Rick.
Well, last year I got off to a late start, and everything seemed to be going 100 miles an hour around me. But I got somewhat comfortable at the end of the season. But it's nothing like the way I felt coming in this year, having been there from day one, and going over things nice and easy. It seemed to slow everything down a little bit.
And Rick Meyer has had a very solid 2nd season. He'll throw on 1st down, swings it out to the running back, Chris Warren. And he took a hit at the 18. The right corner, Dale Carter, involved on that stop. The Seattle offensive line, and this is a huge line with Ray Roberts and the house. Howard Ballard at the tackles. Ballard will be facing Neil Smith for the most part. Kevin Maguire, rookie out of LSU, playing for the injured Bill Hitchcock, who has a back problem. Warren, Johnson are the running backs. Martin, Blades, and Edmonds are the receivers. When they go 3 wide, Warren and Green check in. And the Seahawks like to alternate fullbacks, so we'll see quite a bit of Steve Smith. Penalty flag is thrown as Warren on the slant takes it across the 22.
Well, we didn't hear the whistle, but obviously Warren did because he was walking into the line. I mean, when you look at it, you see him going for the line of scrimmage in a trot. You know that the whistle blows.
False start. Prior to the snap. Offensive right tackle.
Referee is Dale Hamer. It's
number
called
87, 5 yards. Still second down.
So it will be a second down and 12. Smith, Phillips, Cragen, and Mickle up front. Cragen for the injured Dan Saliamua. And the linebackers, Thomas, Simeon, and Jamison. Collins and Carter at the corners. Whitmore and White in the deep portion of the secondary. When they go to the nickel, Fields, Mincy, and Taylor come on. From the 13, Meyer in trouble. Meyer can't find anyone and has to run it out of bounds. Well, excellent coverage by the Chiefs. And as you can see, Rick Meyer can certainly handle it on the ground. Very tough. One of the more mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Seahawks go to a double tight end alignment now. Farrell Edmonds and Paul Green on the field for this 3rd and 7.
You know, I like what he said too yesterday with us, how this game has slowed down after 1 year. Now he can read defense, he's seeing things, and he can react to different things that are happening.
And is reacting right here by calling a timeout. So we'll take a break. Back at Arrowhead in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Lexus, maker of the faster and roomier 1995 LS 400. By Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Always a great scene around Arrowhead here in Kansas City. Paul, it's nice to see Derek Thomas. Obviously made all the team meetings, so he's here for the start of the game as opposed to Monday night in Denver where he was an hour late for a team meeting and Marty Schottenheimer sat him out, as he put it, for the first hour of the game. It's a 3rd down and 7. A completion to the tight end Paul Green, but some 5 yards short of a first down. Jay Taylor up to make the hit. And so the punting unit checks in for the Seahawks. Rick Tootin, who has had a very strong season, will come on.
Well, Marv, on the bottom of the screen, let me show you right here. Here, they call this the low. There's Smith and Thomas are there. And Seattle handles it very well. To the right of your screen, they handle it extremely well. Meyer just throws the ball short.
And Damon Hughes lets it bounce inside the 40, and now in trouble and hauled down back at the 35-yard line. Bob Spatulski making the play following the 42-yard punt. Kansas City's offensive coordinator Paul Hackett with Herman Edwards, defensive back coach, on the left, running back coach Jimmy Ray on the right. Paul Hackett, a man who has brought the San Francisco 49er offensive package to the Chiefs, along with this fellow.
Still took a while to get it all put together with all these other guys, though.
And the Chiefs first down from their 36-yard line. And again, the pass tipped and nearly intercepted on the deflection. That's the second time the Seahawks have gotten a piece of the ball thrown by Montana.
Antonio Edwards dives at this ball and almost makes the catch. That's hustle. Now, Joe Nash is in the middle. He's going to knock the ball up near. But watch 67 to the right of the screen. He almost gets the ball. Joe Nash, 72, is the man that's going to knock the ball up in the air. And there goes Edwards.
Second down and 10 from the 36. And a running play for Greg Hill, who found the hole. Gets to the 44. Stopped by Carlton Gray. So Hill picked up 8. Good blocks. Will Shields and Derek Graham opening things up for Hill.
Well, it's only the second time the Chiefs have the ball, and the first 3 times they rushed, they got 3 yards. Hill picked up 8 on 1.
Halfway through this opening quarter in Kansas City, Marv Albert with Paul Maguire. The Chiefs and the Seahawks are scoreless. Seahawks have dropped their last two. Last week was the bye week. It was no fun when you've lost two in a row. Off the fake, Montana has a first down. The tight end Derek Walker made the catch. Carlton Gray had the wraps on Walker.
You know what happens on this play? They fake a toss to Marcus Allen. It freezes the linebackers. And all Derek Walker, the tight end, does is slide out into the right-hand side. Watch, number 82 just slides out. They fake to Marcus, and here's Walker all by himself. First down.
So Joe Montana has come out throwing 7 attempts the first 7 minutes. First down at midfield. Complete. The rookie Lake Dawson has another Kansas City first down. Rod Stevens, Carlton Gray combining on the tackle, and that is good for a 15-yard advance.
And this is the guy that Marty Schottenheimer said has really come on this year is Lake Dawson, number 80. He just cuts into the middle. It's not a slant. It's almost like a delayed post pattern. Picks up the first down. I didn't think that Kansas City would be throwing this much, but evidently this is their game plan.
Dawson, a third-round draft pick from Notre Dame and a teammate of Seattle quarterback Rick Myers. First down at the 35. Here's Hill making the turn. Greg Hill, a very explosive, very quick runner, cut off by the right corner, Orlando Waters.
I'll tell you right now that the guy, Brent Williams, number 93, the right defensive end of Seattle was knocked down by Bennett, number 30, the running back, and he was really upset. I mean, he got tackled in the backfield, and the official standing right there watching it.
Stay down, bro. Stay down, bro.
Second down and 5 at the Seattle 30-yard line.
Rufus Porter is hurt on the other side of the field, out of bounds.
And as we mentioned earlier, Rufus back from an Achilles tendon injury that suffered last season. He had to sit out the last 7 weeks of the year. Two-time Pro Bowl player as a special teams man in his 7th NFL season.
Here's the play I was talking about. Now, Bennett is this guy right here, and on the outside is the defensive end. Now, watch the hold. When he comes up in here, he's going to hold number 93, Brent Williams. He's coming to the left. Now, watch this. He wraps his arms. He grabs him by the shirt. Now, look at this, and he takes him down. And 97 is Rufus Porter coming in on the pile, and it looks like he got hit by his own man in the back.
Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, landing on top of Rufus Porter.
It's a bad sideline over there. J.J. Burden got hurt over there.
Hurting his lower back, and he is a question mark as to whether he will return. What a reminder tonight here on NBC, a fascinating look at vampires, witches, and yes, werewolves. Could they actually exist, Paul? Please don't answer that. Find out on The Unexplained, and then it's an all-new Sequest adventure, followed by Jacqueline Smith in the world premiere of Danielle Steele's Family Album. That's all tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central here on NBC. When we resume, it will be a second down and 5 for Kansas City. After looking at Rufus Porter. Took a shot from behind inadvertently from his teammate Rod Stevens. And David Brandon, former Cleveland Brown, getting set to check in. The once magnificent 7 of the linebacker corps is now down to a magnificent 5 the way things are going. Dwayne Bickett is out because of a back problem. And there is the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks, former special teams coach, Rusty Tillman.
This team, the Seattle Seahawks, even in training camp, Marv, they were hit by injuries. You know, they put aside so much in the salary cap. They put like $800,000 aside for the cap in case of injuries. They were at $1.8 million before training camp was over.
Well, they have been hammered. Nate Odom's out for the season. You see Rufus Porter headed back to the locker room. Odom's got hurt playing basketball in the offseason, tore the anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee. Kirby Jackson, another former Buffalo Bill, out for the year, knee injury. Mitch Farrat, another one-time Buffalo Bill neck injury, sending him to retirement.
Tells Flory, stay out of Buffalo.
Yes. When you're looking for players, yes. Go to Buffalo. Second down and 5. Marcus Allen is the lone deep back. And here's Marcus. And he is stopped short of the first down. Marcus Allen following an unhappy departure from the Raiders, certainly bouncing back last year with a Pro Bowl season in his first year with the Kansas City Chiefs. Made his 8th Pro Bowl, led the AFC with 15 touchdowns. This season, though, Marty Schottenheimer able to provide a change of pace by going with the rookie Greg Hill. And that has become a nice combination. Third down and 2 at the 30. It's Allen slashing his way. The Seahawks indicating that Allen came up short. Bob Spitulski was able to make the hit. And they're calling for the yardsticks.
They say that he doesn't make it. He had to get to the 25-yard line, and they marked it just short. But, you know, you're looking at a situation here where you may this is like 4th down territory where you go for it here. You only have about a half a yard. And what the Kansas City Chiefs do is they bring in Ricky Ziegler, number 66, and he plays one end, and they bring in Joe Valerio, number 73, and he plays the other end. They both have to report on every single down.
So it is marked 4th and about a half yard. This would be a 43-yard field goal, but the Chiefs going for it. And it's Allen with a big hole collecting the first down.
He followed Bennett, number 30, into the hole, and the hole was there. Marcus Allen, the hole is to the right-hand side of the screen, and Bennett, number 30, goes into the hole first. When he goes in, Marcus goes right in behind him. Here's the blocking on that side. See Bennett, number 30, excellent block on the linebacker, number 94, Stevens. First down.
It's Montana off the roll. Penalty flag is thrown. Lake Dawson involved with the cornerback Carlton Gray, and the call against Dawson. It will be offensive interference.
Derek Walker, number 82, the tight end, trying to get out, got strangled.
Offense, number 80, 10 yards, still first down.
All right, he's coming downfield on Gray, number 26, Dawson. Now, you're not allowed to use your hands on offense. Boy, that, I'm going to tell you, that is a touchy call. I mean, both guys have their hands up, and Dawson really didn't do much but lean into him. But I like the call because too many wide receivers now are leaning into the defensive backs and getting away with it. And the only way the defensive backs can get away is by pushing them off.
It sets it back to a 1st and 20. Kimball Anders. And a flag thrown in the secondary. Kimball Anders, the backup fullback last 2 years out of the University of Houston. Looked like Dave Zott got involved with Cortez Kennedy.
Little face mask on each guy. They're going to call holding against Kansas City. You know, this team, you talked about the penalties, 9.2. They're second. They may jump into first place in the league. I mean, this is a time of the year. You're in your 7th game. You don't have these kind of penalties.
Yes, they're averaging slightly over 9
number
per
80,
game.
the offense, 10 yards. Still first down.
Lake Dawson again, and this one's holding downfield.
First and 30.
That's 2 in a row.
Dawson involved along with a little extracurricular activity between Zott and Kennedy away from the ball. 3.5 remaining. First quarter with no score. Montana with a bullet pass for Willie Davis. Out at the 25-yard line, a good 13 yards shy of a first down. That's good for 16. Again, it's Spitulski on the stop.
You know, Marv, the one thing that the Seattle Seahawks wanted to do, and they know they have to do, is get pressure on Montana up the middle. Watch what happens up in the middle. Look in this area right in here. Watch up the middle. Do they get any pressure on Montana up the middle? Absolutely none. and Montana steps up in the throwing lane and hits Davis. You've got to get in Montana's face.
Second down, 14. Flag is tossed.
The tight end, Derek Walker, moves.
Ball start. Number 82 of the offense. Prior to the snap. 5 yards. Still second down.
I mean, you just see it. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer's got to be pulling his hair out. Watch this here. Here's the movement. The tight end. Once you're set, you can't move. He's coming forward. They call it. A couple of holding penalties. The offensive pass interference, a holding penalty. Legal motion.
The fourth penalty of this first quarter against Kansas City. A second down, 19. Back at the 30-yard line. Here's Greg Hill finding an opening on the right side, but a short pickup. And the report on Rufus Porter of the Seahawks suffered a hip pointer, and his return is called questionable.
And the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to keep that 9.2 penalties per game intact. They had 4 in the first quarter. Very well.
Well, on pace. 11th play of the drive, and it's a third down and 15. Montana with the pump fake, and then let's see, did he just throw it away? There was someone in the area. He could not find anyone.
Well, he was looking for Marcus Allen. There was supposed to be a screen pass to Marcus Allen, and they wouldn't let him out. He got stuck in the middle, and Marcus never got out. So Montana gets outside of the pocket and then throws the ball away, which you're allowed to do. Now, as long as you throw it outside towards the line of scrimmage.
And now Lynn Elliott will come on to attempt a 43-yard field goal. Monday night, he was 1 of 2. A high snap hurt him. Danny Villa went up high with a snap. This one is good. In terms of the snap, and the kick is not good. So the Chiefs and the Seahawks remain scoreless.
The snap is a little bit high, Marv, but Aguiar gets the ball down. Elliott just hooks it to the left. Watch this real quick snap, and he pulls the ball to his left. They hit a 9-iron like that a lot.
Under the new rules, the ball is placed at the point of the kick at the 34-yard line. And Seattle has the ball for the second time this afternoon. Kelvin Martin on the catch. Kelvin Martin in his 8th year out of Boston College. One-time Dallas Cowboy. He was covered by the right corner, Dale Carter. Pickup of 7. It'll be a second down and 3. The Seahawks from their 41.
We're talking about this field this year. If you're looking at something different, it's grass this year as opposed to the artificial surface, and we'll get to it in a second.
And it's Warren running for the first down and more out to midfield.
Well, they go right over on the house and right at Neil Smith. Now, Neil Smith is playing basically with one hand. His right hand has a cast on it. Here's the house, 75 on 90. Grabs him, hooks him to the outside. The hole is there. First down.
Chris Warren going for 9 on the play. Chris Warren averaging about 4 yards per carry and appears to be headed for another 1,000-yard season. Problem with the snap, but you see the flags being thrown.
We're talking about this is a grass field now, and they were worried about Derek Thomas. How would he do? Does he lose some speed? His first game he had 3 sacks, so they said the field's fine. Everything. But one thing that Derek Thomas told us yesterday about
false
this field.
starts. Many members of the offensive line.
Many members. I like that. Let's give them all some. But what he said about this, it takes away some of the sound. So when the crowd of 79,000 are screaming, they're not as loud on a grass field than they are on an artificial surface because it bounces off of it.
First down and 15. Meyer with the time. Able to hit Warren. Sideline pattern. Being covered by the strong safety, David Whitmore. That's short of a first down. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel for this update. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Giants Stadium, young quarterback Dave Brown under some pressure this week, having a pretty good first quarter so far. This 44-yarder to Chris Callaway set up a 19-yard field goal by David Treadwell. Closing minutes of the first quarter, Giants are on top of the Steelers, 3-0, Marv.
Greg, as Dave Brown facing the pressure. Actually, the pressure put on him by the head coach, Dan Reeves, who has not been satisfied with his play. Here's Warren inside the 45. Again, Whitmore makes the stop. And this first quarter is running down, 10 seconds to go. It'll be a third down, 3rd and 3 when we come back for the second quarter. So after one at Arrowhead in Kansas City, the Chiefs and the Seahawks are scoreless. Although the Seattle Seahawks have had their problems the last couple of weeks, there are great hopes and expectations with the second-year quarterback Rick Meyer. You can see how the offense has improved year by year. Remember, this is a club that was 2-14 in 1992, and then last year 6 up, 10 down, and you can see how things have been progressing. Second quarter getting underway. It's a 3rd and 3 off the pitch. Warren battling his way to pick up the first down. Neil Smith getting to Chris Warren, but the Seahawks with a first down.
David Whitmore, when you hesitate, you're not going to make the tackle. He hesitates. He's waiting for Warren to make a move, and Warren just runs right through him. If you take a look at this play, look on the top side. Hold it for just a second, guys, right here. Watch this. Here's Whitmore, number 41. See him wait? When you wait, the offensive man knows where he's going. That enables Warren to pick up the first down.
All right, Kelvin Martin to the left, Brian Blades to the right side. Warren again trying to pick his way, and he is stopped by Mark Collins.
Neil Smith, you know, we talked to Neil yesterday, and he's really having a tough time with that hand because he can't grab or anything. Here he's playing basically with one arm, his left arm, but he gets in on the play. Now, Mark Collins, number 25, makes the play at the cornerback position, but Neil Smith is really having a tough time.
Yes, still bothered by the injured thumb, although Monday night in the game against the Broncos had his best game of the year. 3.5 sacks, forced fumble, 2nd down and 10. Meyer throwing the middle and through the hands of the tight end, Farrell Edmonds. So Rick Meyer is now 4 of 5, only 21 yards.
Well, Mickle, number 92, is the guy that's going to put the heat on, but watch this pass by Meyer. I mean, he fires it. Here's Mickle there. He's throw away. Hold it, you know, that's what you do. You don't want to hurt him. Just knock him down, let him know you're around. Then pick him back up, which adds insult to injury.
8th play of the drive, and a 3rd down and 10. Play action, and Meyer is spun around and sacked by Derek Thomas.
Paul Green, the tight end, is trying to block Derek Thomas one-on-one, and that isn't going to get it done. On the outside, hold on a minute, folks. This guy right here, take a look at Green, 87. He's already by Green. When Derek Thomas leaves the line of scrimmage, he is already by the tight end.
And Derek Thomas with vivid memories of facing the Seattle Seahawks. You may remember a couple of years back, he came up with an NFL record of 7 sacks in one game against the Seahawks. Damon Hughes on the fair catch off a 28-yard punt by Rick Tootin.
All right, I want you to watch him. I'll tell you why he hasn't beaten. Watch this leg here, and then watch this guy. Watch his movement, and keep your eye on this leg. See, he's already by him. Green has no chance. When you get that kind of a jump, there's just no way that you're going to one-on-one block Derek Thomas.
And Derek comes up with his 6th sack of the season. Derek, so much more comfortable now back at the outside linebacker. Last year used as what they call a rush backer, but out of position. Flag is thrown again. Pass intended for Marcus Allen.
John Alt, number 76, moves.
Ball start, number 76, prior to the snap.
And
5 yards.
Tackle John Alt as they move it back. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, in Cleveland, the Bengals looking for their first win of the season. The Lewis Oliver interception led to this. Klingler to Tim McGee, 11 yards. The 10-3 lead for the Bengals matches their largest of the season. They're in the second quarter now, Marv.
All right, Greg, 1:45 gone by in the second quarter here in Kansas City with no score and a 1st and 15. Marcus Allen. And again, it's Bob Spotulski, who has been very active in the first half, making the stop.
Antonio Edwards makes the play 267. Watch Cortez Kennedy, number 96. You think he's a force? He is a force. He's splitting the defensive lineman. There's Cortez. They had two guys on Cortez. Antonio Edwards, 67, gets a piece, but Cortez takes two.
And that's standard procedure. He is usually double and triple team. A second down and 14. Montana can't find anyone. Beautiful diving catch made for the first down by Eric Martin. Eric Martin, seeing his first action of the season, comes up with a second catch of the day.
Just watch 85. Watch him work himself back to Montana. He sees him in trouble. Now he gets to an open spot. Look where the ball's thrown. To the outside. Martin's the only one that can catch it.
And Montana now 7 of 11, and a usual Montana feature. He has connected with 7 different receivers. First down play. And Montana completes again, has the rookie Dawson. Blake Dawson goes for 25 yards.
We have a couple of Seattle Seahawks guys that are hurt. Eugene Robinson's getting up very slow. And down on the field, 26 is Carlton Gray. They're running out of players. But the one thing that, you know, Eugene Robinson told us yesterday, number 41 for Seattle, he said, when you're covering a guy and you think you got Montana in the backfield, then all of a sudden he comes free to throw the ball to Lake Dawson, but Montana does it again. It looked like he was going to be sacked. Then he moves out of the pocket, steps up, and makes the play.
Yes, Eugene telling us that Joe Montana is so annoying to face because he has so much patience. You can have all that great coverage, but it doesn't matter because Joe will just wait it out, find a receiver. He does not panic, and that's the case right here.
Watch this. Now look, he looks like Sam Adams is there. He looks like he's going to be sacked, but he's not. Now he just steps up, gets himself ready, squares up the field, and finds Dawson coming across. Now here comes Eugene Robinson there, and these guys are really frustrated.
So Montana is 8 for 12, 103 yards. Kansas City did not allow a sack on Monday night when Montana threw for 54 times. Montana has been sacked only 5 times this season.
There's no time on the scoreboard, and we know it's not the half. So the officials are looking up and saying, all these zeros? That's it. Let's take a break.
Having an electrical problem.
Somebody stole 11 minutes and 38 seconds.
11:38 remaining in the second quarter here at Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City, capacity crowd, 79,000 on hand on a beautiful 62-degree day. Kansas City. Ricky Sigler has come on at right tackle for Derek Graham, who started the game and have replaced Sigler as the starter the last couple of weeks. First down play. Montana again over the middle and again completes the tight end Derek Walker down to the 31 for another first down, and that's good for a 14-yard gain.
Marv, what you look at is where he throws the ball, he being Montana. Watch where he throws the ball to Walker. There's no chance to make the play. You see this ball is thrown to the outside. There's just no chance. Blackman is coming up to make the play as a safety, but the ball is thrown to his other side. He can't get there. The only one that can get there is the tight end.
The Chiefs first down at the 31. Seattle and Kansas City are scoreless, and you can see once again they are having problems with the scoreboard. They will be keeping the time on the field.
10:58. Now they got 11:09. Clocks are back. Whoever stole them brought them back.
Willie Davis in motion. On the slant kill, he was able to find the opening and runs it inside the 25, met by the right defensive end, Brent Williams. Once again, let's check in with Greg Gumbel, New York studio. Greg?
All right, Marv, at the Meadowlands, the Giants with a chance to put more points on the board. On the quarterback draw, Dave Brown will reach the goal line, is clearly down before he fumbles, but the officials didn't see it that way. The ball goes to the Steelers. They go the other way. It's still a 3-0 Giants lead in the second quarter. Marv?
All right, Greg, here a 2nd down and 2. And Montana calls for time. So we'll take a break. Seahawks and the Chiefs are scoreless.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth and your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Liberty Mutual. At Liberty Mutual, we're facing the issues that face our customers. By Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for one low price. And by your gas industry. Clean, economical, natural gas. Think what you'll save.
About 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. We say about because they have had electrical problems with the scoreboard and the official time being kept on the field. There's Rufus Porter, who went out last series with a hip pointer, but back in there, so giving it a shot. It is a 2nd down and 2 for the Chiefs down at the 23-yard line in Seahawk territory. And the give to Allen, and has a 1st down.
You know, you would think that here he is, the only guy in the backfield. You know that he's going to get the ball, but the blocking is so good for him up front that he gets the 1st down.
It is a 1st down at the 19-yard line. Now Kimball Anders and Marcus Allen are in the backfield. Lake Dawson is flanked to the right side, and Willie Davis to the left. Play action. Montana to the flat. He has Anders. And Anders runs it out at the marker, covered by the outside linebacker, Terry Wooden.
Well, you know, this is tough coverage for the linebacker. The linebacker is on the fullback. And Kimball Anders comes out of the backfield. You run a play action. That holds the linebackers momentarily. But when you do that, look at Wooden, number 90. He cannot get to Kimball Anders. They pick up almost 9 yards on the play.
It's a 2nd down and 1. Mel Bennett has come on for Kimball Anders. And Allen getting the call. Stopped by Cortez Kennedy. And let's see where they spot it.
Marcus Allen, he is a north-south runner. Watch Marcus Allen. He goes to the hole. Cortez Kennedy in the backfield. Every time you talk to the Kansas City Chiefs, you talk about Cortez Kennedy. The first thing that comes out of everybody's mouth on offense is he's a force, and he is a force.
And he was able to force Marcus Allen away from the marker. They're short of the 1st down. 9th play of the drive, and now the acceleration by Allen. This time Marcus tried the left side. And it is a 1st down for the Chiefs.
Rod Stevens, 94, dives over the pile and gets a piece of Marcus Allen, but Cortez Kennedy is on the bottom. 94 is right here on the right-hand side of your screen. Now watch him. He goes right for Marcus Allen. Over the top, right there. Bang. Cortez is on the bottom.
And a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Lake Dawson is now flanked to the right side. Montana again to the flat. Kimball Anders. It is a touchdown. Just able to work his way in.
You got the same play on the outside. They just ran it 2 plays ago or 3 plays ago to Kimball Anders, and you're having the linebacker, who is Terry Wooden, trying to cover him, and it's just tough duty because the linebacker's already caught inside. If you see where let me just show you something. Here on the outside, the linebacker is caught to the inside, and once he's caught inside, Anders is already running outside. It's just hard to make that call.
And the point after by Lynn Elliott. So Kimball Anders with his 1st touchdown of the season. Chiefs take the lead.
Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, a great doubleheader on NBC. Jim Kelly and the Bills take on Joe Montana and the Chiefs in a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. Then one of the great quarterbacks from the class of '83, Dan Marino, goes up against one of the best from the class of '93, Drew Bledsoe, as the Dolphins battle the Patriots for regional action next Sunday.
Well, the Chiefs scoring drive going 5.5 minutes, and they've had the ball for a good portion of this first half, 16.5 minutes. Seattle only 5.5 minutes. Then Elliott will kick it away to the combination of John Vaughn and Michael Bates. Michael Bates had a very difficult game 2 weeks ago against Denver. He fumbled a kickoff, caught a pass, then fumbled it. Tom Flores took him out. So these are big moments for Bates. He takes the kick out to the 15. Bates, who has terrific speed, coughed it up. And a penalty flag is down. Michael Bates fumbled the ball as he took the hit.
You know, you just talked about this young guy, and you asked Tom Flores. He said, you know, I took the guy out because he was a little distraught about what he had done. They've got, they say, holding against Seattle.
Holding, number 97 on the return. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Okay, that's Rufus Porter. But here's Bates, and the young man, it looked like he had a hole. Here comes Bates up into the hole. He looked like, you know, for a second, he wanted to put two hands on the ball. If we could show that one more time, he wanted to put, watch him, he's going to watch his left arm. He's going to try to put two hands on the ball right there, but they pull the ball away from his hands. Hughes, number 83, pulls it away.
Did not appear to have the ball in secure fashion. It was recovered by Mark Collins, and a break for the Chiefs. Montana with play action is hauled down. So Joe Montana is sacked for the first time this afternoon. Joe Nash, the left defensive tackle, coming up with his second sack of the season.
See Montana get up laughing? I mean, I don't understand this one. All right, Nash, here comes, they have a blitz on with this, and Nash gets back to the inside. He just beats Shields, number 68, and makes the play.
Loss of 6 and a second and 16 after Seattle 39. Allen in the hole. Ankle tackled at the 32. Picked up 8 on the play. Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Very unusual for the Kansas City Chiefs to suffer a sack. Check this out. Per pass attempt, Kansas City sacked only 5 times coming into today with 249 pass attempts. A 2% percentage. That is remarkable.
That's right, Montana was smiling.
Third down and about 9. And Montana very short. Pass intended for Damon Hughes.
Boy, he had Cortez Kennedy right in his face. He had to get the ball away before he wanted to. The force. Cortez Kennedy, here he comes. He forces Montana. Montana throws and ducks. This will be almost a 50-yard field goal.
They say officially 49. Lynn Elliott missed from 44 earlier. And we saw the snapper, Danny Villa, had a problem with his hand on the sideline. Snapped again. And the kick by Elliott is good. Long-range field goal, something we have seen very little of this year in the NFL. It's good from 49.
Today on NFL Live.
If a quarterback blatantly changes a play that a coach sent in, now that's mutiny. I think it's very important for the quarterback at some point, though, to realize the coach is in charge and he's got to back off. I think Haas went too far with the argument.
NFL Live next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern.
And coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, all the news, scores, and highlights of today's action around the league, plus some Marv and a chat with Marcus Allen. You are looking at Michael Bates, Olympic bronze medalist in the 200 meters. The kickoff to Bates a moment ago was fumbled, giving the ball to the Chiefs. That resulted in a field goal, and he had 2 fumbles last week. This time, And I think that Michael Bates is thankful. Does not have to run it out.
And I think the coaching staff of Seattle's also thankful. You know, the Seattle's only had the ball 11 plays. Kansas City 35 plays.
And Lynn Elliott's kickoffs have been exceptional this season. It is an unforgettable journey when the Sequest crew travels 200 years into the future and finds giant robots in control. That's Sequest tonight at 8, 7 Central here on NBC. Kansas City has owned the football in this first half. 6:21 remaining. And the Chiefs leading the Seahawks 10-0. Rick Miles starting out, 1st and 10 from the 20. Here's Warren as they try to establish a running game. Brings to the 25, stopped by the middle linebacker Tracy Simeon. And once again, let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Cleveland, the Browns have pulled even with the Bengals. Vinny Testaverde, the short one. Leroy Horde out of the backfield will take it 11 yards for the score. With the extra point, the Browns and the Bengals are all tied up in the second quarter at 10-10. Marv?
Thank you, Greg. Just under 6 minutes now left in the first half. And a 2nd down and 4 at the 26-yard line.
They ran Steve Smith off the field, and the officials called timeout. Just a second.
Blades in motion. Fake pitch by Meyer. And then sidearms it. And let's see, was it inbounds? No, apparently not. Kelvin Martin took a shove from Dale Carter, and it is ruled incomplete.
Rick Myers, quick fake, and then when he comes back to the outside, look at this sidearm throw. The ball was tipped. There was just no chance to catch the ball inbounds. Here comes Martin. Look at this. Even though he's pushed here, he would have never come down inbounds. Collins pushed him out, but he was already out.
It's a 3rd and 4 at the 26. Seahawks not able to get anything going offensively. Now they have Terrence Warren flanked to the left. This is Blades, and he has a 1st down. Brian Blades with his first catch of the day, stopped by the outside linebacker George Jamison.
Meyer had about 2 seconds to throw the ball. He really had no time at all. This Kansas City Chiefs had a blitz on, and Meyer finds Blades right away. When he gets rid of this ball in a hurry, watch this. Take 1, 2 steps, and bang, that ball is gone now. He had no time.
Brian Blades playing with nagging back and hamstring problems. That's his first catch of the game. Meyer avoiding the pressure and then taken down. Darren Nickel with the sack. 2nd sack of the day by the Chiefs.
The man who makes it all possible is Booker, number 99, Vaughn Booker. He comes up the middle, and then Nickel comes from the outside. Up the middle is going to be 99. You see him coming, fakes outside of Ballard, and he comes back inside. He's the guy putting the pressure on right here, and then Nickel comes from behind, almost knocks the ball away. Team defense.
2nd and 22 back at the 25. And the inside handoff handled by Warren. So the Seahawks operating out of the shotgun, which is not a favorite situation for the head coach Tom Flores. Check that was John Vaughn on the carry for the first time.
You run a play like that, Marv, a quick draw like that just to slow the defensive lineman down. Now they're thinking, will he run another draw? Will he run a screen?
It's a 3rd and 12 at the 35. Meyer again can't find anyone. Penalty marker's been thrown. And it's incomplete. Blades, the intended receiver, covered by Collins.
It's going to be a legal motion by Seattle. They refuse the penalty, and Seattle's going to have to punt. I mean, they're just not in sync with anything.
It's a legal formation on the offense. No end on the line of scrimmage. Penalties declined. 4th down.
That's the offensive coordinator, Larry Kennan, who has not enjoyed this first half. Seattle Seahawks wins over Washington, the Raiders, the Steelers, losses to San Diego, Indianapolis, and Denver. This is a team that at one point was 3-1, but they have had their difficulties the past few weeks. Aaron Hughes is hit, and he goes inside the 15, and a flag is thrown. 53-yard punt, a beauty by Tootin. David Brandon leading the coverage, but let's check out the flag.
Late hit. Personal foul. Number 22 of the kicking team, leading with the head, 15 yards, first down. John Vaughn. Number 86, Rob Thomas, gets down there and makes an excellent play underneath. And watch number 22. What is this? It's like diving in the air. I mean, that's stupid. On the right or left-hand side, right-hand side of the screen, you see him just bury his head. You can't. First of all, even if the guy was straight up, you can't hit him with your head.
So the Chiefs start out at their 30-yard line with 3:35 remaining. First Kansas City leading 10-0. Greg Hill doing some dancing, stopped by Rod Stevens. Marty Schottenheimer says he's trying to get Greg Hill to relax. He says he's a bit too emotional, overreacting to each play. But this is a young man, a first-round draft pick out of Texas A&M, who looks to be a future star.
He really does, and we're waiting for Sam Adams to get in the game to play alongside him. He said when he was at Texas A&M, they weren't allowed to hit Hill. He said, I'd like to hit him once.
Yes. Teammates at Texas A&M and both first-round draft picks. Terry Glenn, the Jets, also picked on the first round as Hill runs to the 38. Stopped by Rufus Porter.
Just some nice blocking on the right-hand side. Shields, Grunhard, and here comes Hill. A little quick draw to the outside. Porter makes the tackle. It'll be third and about 2.
Well, I should say Aaron Glenn of the Jets, also a teammate at Texas A&M of Sam Adams and Greg Hill. And here's Hill, and he has a first down. The strong safety, Robert Blackman, getting credit for the tackle. So Hill has run 8 times for 38 yards. We are approaching 2 minutes to go in this first half. So the 2-minute warning. We'll take a break. Kansas City 10, Seattle nothing.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. Imagine trying to tackle a shadow, said one defender, and you'll know how elusive this running back is. Using sharp cuts, he played it on an even sharper edge. Who was this legend? Tony Dorsett combined a sprinter's speed with a dancer's moves into a Hall of Fame career. A true legend of the game.
Just ahead at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, with all the news and scores and highlights around the league, plus some odd, in a chat with Marcus Allen of the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs and Seahawks with 2 timeouts each remaining. And a completion to Kimball Anders. Run out by the outside linebacker, Terry Wooden. For Anders, that is his 4th catch of the day. Terry Wooden, an unsung member of the Seattle defensive unit. Not flashy, makes the plays. Pro Bowl candidate, although he does not have any sacks, and people do look at statistics, but leaves the field on passing downs.
Well, and if he's going to be covering Kimball Anders coming out of the backfield like that time and time again, he's going to have to get up on him and get a piece of him at the line of scrimmage and not wait on him.
2nd down and 5. Montana has a first down. Able to connect with Willie Davis. That's good for 14. And for Davis, one of the heroes of the Monday night victory, that's his 2nd catch of the day.
Davis goes down. This is just a comeback. You go beyond the line of scrimmage. You're down to the 40, and he comes back into the play. Gray, number 26, is there, but Montana puts it on the outside. Can't get to it.
And a first down at the Seattle 37-yard line. The screen developing for Allen. And he's able to stick on his way to the 31. Run out by the free safety, Eugene Robinson.
Rufus Porter, he gets hit twice. He gets knocked down, then he gets back up again. 97 right out here. Watch what happens to this guy. He comes out. He comes up. Runner knocks him down. Now he gets back up. Watch this. And he gets knocked down again. He's going to get knocked down twice. Stay down the first time.
A minute 19 remaining in the half. Chiefs do have 2 timeouts left. Second down and 3 at the 31-yard line. Allen with the big hole. Nice spin by Marcus Allen, and he has a first down.
There is absolutely no hesitation in Marcus Allen, Marv. He just goes to the hole, and he is convinced that that hole is going to be there. They're in the hurry-up mode.
14th first down for the Chiefs. Seahawks with only 3. That's the way it's gone in the first half, and Allen not able to hold on.
Allen that time was looking to run before he got the ball. The ball hits him right in the hands and then hit him in the mouth, I think. But the ball goes through, but as soon as the ball's coming in, he knows that Rufus Porter, number 97, is behind him, and he just turned his head to look the other way. Rufus is hurt again.
Well, he's had a very tough first half. Suffered a hip pointer earlier, able to come back. 9th play of the drive coming up. Timeout taken. We'll be back in a moment. Back in Kansas City, Marv Albert with Paul Maguire. 56 seconds to go in the half. And Rufus Porter trying to walk it off. Replaced by Bob Spitulski. It's a 10-0 Kansas City lead. And the Chiefs trying to drive for another score. They have a second down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Kansas City with 229 total yards. Seattle with only 50. It has been domination by the Chiefs in this first half.
Seattle with 6 defensive backs in the game.
Montana.
Sam Adams was all over Montana. Rookie. Cortez Kennedy's rookie.
That pass ball intended for Jimmy Johnson, who dressed today because Tracy Green came down with the flu.
Montana, he just feels people around him, and Sam Adams is there, number 98.
It'll be a third down and 10 at the 22-yard line. And this is Anders, stopped short of the first down by the reserve defensive back, Dave McClellan. So Kimball Anders with his 5th catch. It is a 4th down and 6 at the 17-yard line, and it appears.
No, I don't think they're going to run a play. You're in field goal range. You want to get a field goal. You're just running as much time off the clock as you can.
And a timeout taken by the Chiefs, so they are down to 1 remaining with 24 seconds left in the half.
With a 10-0 lead, I don't think you even hesitate here. You just go put the ball up in the air and kick the field goal. Montana is trying to sell it to Marty Schottenheimer and Paul Hackett. Let's go for it. It's 4th down. But I think, you got 4th and about 6 yards, 5 yards. But, I mean, Montana obviously must be seeing something that other people aren't seeing, except the special teams are going to win out. Because here Hackett said, I'm not going to be any part of this.
Yes, he's going.
Let me get out of here. Let's get Elliott in there. Let him kick it.
He's headed downstairs to chat with the coaches at halftime. This would be a 34-yard field goal attempt, and Elliott has come on along with the holder Aguiar. Elliott is 1 of 2, missed from 44, hit from 49. And this is from 34 yards away. Kick is good. And with 20 seconds remaining in the half. Kansas City extends to a 13-0 lead.
Yeah, I don't know what Joe was trying to sell Marty. But Marty Schottenheimer didn't buy it. Here is the hold. Aguiar holds. Elliott gets it up. Very strong.
And in this first half, Joe Montana, 15 of 22, 165 yards. One touchdown. He connected on a 9-yard play with Kimball Anders. So Joe Montana was a question mark during the course of the week because of the bruised ribs, injured hip, although for Joe these days that is customary.
One thing that's really surprising about this team is you take a look at Seattle in this first half, Marv. I mean, they just haven't been in sync on anything. I mean, nothing's worked for them. They've only had the ball. I think it's less than 20 plays that they've had in this first half of the game. And you don't win a football game running 40 plays in a ball game.
This club has gone the other way. I know a couple of weeks ago after the bad loss to the Colts, Tom Flores said it was one of the low points of his coaching career. 2 weeks ago, the Seahawks lost to the Broncos 16-9. They committed 5 turnovers in the process. Had the bye week last week. Picked off by Elliott. Again, Bates on the return. And let's see if he can hold on. He goes down within the pile and does maintain possession. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports will present a good-looking NFL doubleheader. Kansas City and Buffalo in the first game. It all gets underway 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. And I'll look at the lineup. KC and Buffalo, rematch of the AFC Championship last year. The Kansas City Chiefs losing to Buffalo 30-13. KC and Buffalo. Dick Enberg, Bob Trumpy will have that for you. It's a first down at the 28-yard line with 15 seconds remaining. Chris Warren out across the 35, met by George Jameson. His time is running out in this first half.
Only 18 plays in the first half. You don't win with 18 plays.
The Chiefs 13 and the Seahawks nothing here at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel at our New York studio.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back to our studios here in New York, everyone. Along with Mike Ditka, I'm Greg Gumbel. Halftime score 13-0 in favor of the Chiefs. Let's run down the scoreboard for you, and we'll begin with the game at the Meadowlands between the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Field goal contest so far. This one's in the second quarter. Coming down, it is a 6-3 Giants score. Dave Brown under a little pressure at quarterback. Well, wasn't ready for that snap from center Brian Williams. Dave Meggett recovered for the Giants, but not before there was a 26-yard loss, and Dan Reeves wasn't pleased about that. Giants lost a touchdown here. Howard Cross drops an easy one from Brown. They settled for a 19-yard field goal instead. It was 3-0. Then Dave Brown on the quarterback draw is stripped by Rod Woodson here. It appears his knees are down before he loses the football, but the officials say it's a fumble, and the Steelers recovered. Van Morris starting for injured Barry Foster, fumbled twice in the first half. This one recovered by Carlton Bailey. Both fumbles led to Giants field goals, and as they approach halftime, it is a 3-0 lead in favor of the New York Giants. In Kansas City, the game that you are watching, the Chiefs are leading the Seahawks by a score of 13-0 at halftime, and Chiefs losing starting wide receiver J.J. Burden on the second play of the game with a lower back contusion. Montana to Kimball Anders out of the backfield here. Just makes it into the end zone to complete a 9-yard scoring play. It was 7-0 Kansas City. And then on the kickoff right after, Michael Bates fumbles. Mark Collins will recover, and that leads to Lynn Elliott's 49-yard field goal to make it 10-0 at that point. At halftime, it's 13-0. Take a look at the numbers. Rick Meyer, 5 of 8 for just 32 yards, while Joe Montana seems to be heating things up. And, you know, we saw the Chiefs' offense get well the last couple of weeks. What's happened to the Seattle Seahawks? 1 touchdown in their last several games now.
they're really struggling. And I think a part of it is that they don't have the confidence in what they're doing. They're not running the ball effectively. And I think Meyer's really having a hard time. He doesn't look like he's picking up the receivers like he did a year ago. I think he's having a hard time finding the second receiver. And as a result, they are not giving their defense any support at all.
All right, Mike, 13-0. The Chiefs are leading the Seahawks at the Silverdome in Pontiac. The Lions are leading the Chicago Bears by a 14-0 score. Mitchell has thrown a 6-yard touchdown pass to Brett Perriman, and Chris Spielman returned a fumble 24 yards for a touchdown. The Bears have 3 turnovers in the first half so far, and they trail it by 2 touchdowns. In Cleveland, the Bengals and the Browns. It's a 13-10 Cincinnati lead as Cincinnati goes for its first win of the season. Vinny Testaverde and the Browns had their hands full so far. Bengal defense recorded 8 sacks last week against Pittsburgh. Today, Dan Wilkinson notches his first ever against Testaverde. 3-3 tie in the first after a Lewis Oliver interception. David Klingler to Tim McGee for an 11-yard touchdown. It was 10-3 Bengals, but back came the Browns. Vinny Testaverde to Leroy Horde on the screen, who bulls his way into the end zone from 11 yards out. But a Pelfrey field goal has the Bengals on top by a score of 13-10. We've mentioned this in weeks past. The Cincinnati Bengals have not played bad football this season.
They're playing better defense all the way, and I think the thing I like about what they're doing, they're very aggressive. You know, and David Schuler's got a tough job. It's hard to keep talking to your football team and say, hey, we're better than 0-6. We know we're better than 0-6, but the only way you can prove it is beat a good football team. But this could be the beginning of Cleveland's swan song.
All right, Mike, 13-10, Cincinnati in the lead. In Indianapolis, the Redskins are trailing the Colts 17-13. Marshall Faulk has caught an 85-yard touchdown pass. And in New Orleans, the Saints and the Rams are playing as they approach halftime. The Saints lead at 14-0. Coming up, Ahmad Rashad joins us for his visit with the Chiefs' Marcus Allen. It's after these words from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back to the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Those of you watching the Seahawks and Chiefs, no doubt, are aware of Marcus Allen's all-around skills. 4th on the all-time touchdown list. Allen came to the Chiefs after a brilliant career with the Raiders, and he's joined Joe Montana with the idea of bringing a Super Bowl champion to Kansas City.
1st and 10 Chiefs from their own 41-yard line. Lead play, Marcus Allen trying to hang on to the football and goes down with a loss of 2 at the 39. And now they're going to say the ball's loose and Denver's got the ball. Marcus Allen fumbles the football.
When I carry the ball, I carry the team basically, and the hopes and dreams of the team. And obviously when you drop the ball, believe me, I felt worse than anybody. Nobody had to say anything to me, but I was glad that we got a second chance.
Montana takes the snap, back to throw, looking right, firing a pass that a leaping grab, Willie Davis, touchdown Kansas City, touchdown Montana Magic.
What about the emotional swings that you guys have been through? Have you been able to stay away from that? I mean, you guys play good for a while, then you play bad for a while, then you play good again. Is that affecting your team?
Obviously, everybody had written us off. They were saying we were the team in the AFC possibly to go all the way this year, and then we lost 2 games, and then we were the doormat. So we stay together despite what we hear outside the stadium.
What about the problems with the running game? I mean, you guys haven't been able to sustain a strong running game at all this season.
Well, I think obviously we realized in order to be a Super Bowl caliber team, you got to be able to run the ball. But I think we'd like to run the ball a lot more, and I think we're going to do that.
When people talk about the running game, do you take that personal? Because, I mean, that's down your alley at this point.
Oh, I always take that personal. I mean, we're paid to make some yards, and we haven't done it, and obviously we just got to work harder at it.
Now, you have been on a Super Bowl team before. Being here now, can you compare the differences or the similarities between the Super Bowl team that you were on and this one? Can this team go to the Super Bowl?
I think we can, but obviously we have to have some consistency here. I mean, the team that I played on in the past, they were a different bunch, to say the least. This team definitely has the talent, but we have to be consistent, and we have to go out there. I mean, I think today's league, I mean, the margin of error is so small. You can't go out there and play average football because any team can beat you. You got to be in the game every Sunday.
Well, Mike, obviously when you bring in a player like Marcus Allen to your team, it's more than just a physical infusion. It's also a mental thing because he's such a great player.
Well, you bring experience and you bring leadership. This guy is a quality football player. I think he's a quality person. I think he adds a lot of character to that football team, and I think a lot of the young guys look to him. I mean, the Chiefs want to put Greg Hill on the field. I mean, he's a great young talent. But they can't put him on the field because Marcus is too valuable to them when he's on the field because he does so many things so well in every area of the game.
And also when you got a guy like that, when we talk about now their running game not working really well, but to have a guy come out of the backfield like that still improves your offense.
Exactly, and plus he's a great blocker. He does whatever he has to do to help the team win.
All right, Mike. Our NFL Live halftime activities will continue.
Halftime, and Kansas City has a 13-0 lead on Seattle. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire back at Arrowhead in Kansas City. And Paul, it has been all Chiefs. Joe Montana, first half, 15 of 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. And his fellow Notre Dame alum, Rick Meyer, has struggled, has not seen the ball much, 5 of 8, 32 yards, but sacked twice, which means his passing net yardage is 13 for the half.
They've had the ball for 18 plays offensively, and you don't beat anybody doing that. But the other thing is when you're looking at this offense of Seattle's, Marv, it looks like, you know, that old expression, they're not on the same page. Well, they're not. I mean, they're moving around. They've had a couple of motion penalties. They're not doing anything.
And here are the Coors Light halftime stats, and this illustrates that the Seahawks have not done anything.
18 plays and 58 yards. I mean, that's awful. Look at 234. No turnovers for the Chiefs. Sacked twice, and that's where you see that passing yardage again.
Michael Bates and John Vaughn back for the Lynn Elliott kickoff, and again it is Bates. And Bates finding some running room. Very nice return by Michael Bates in his second year out of Arizona.
Marvin, when Bates looks like he's injured, but when he's running with the ball, he might have had more speed. He might have been able to break this thing if he ran with only one hand on the ball. Watch this. You talk about afraid not to fumble. He's got both hands on this ball the entire return. The entire return, he has both hands on the ball.
For those who may have just tuned in, Michael Bates did cough one up in the first half. Fumbled twice last week. Chris Warren on the first play from scrimmage of the second half is hit for a loss. Back at the 35, hit by Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas has 1 sack in the first half. One more, he takes the lead here, doesn't he? He's the all-time sacker. He plays everything well. He plays the pass well. He's an excellent pass rusher, and he also, watch this when he plays the run. He just gets to the outside. Warren knows he has absolutely no place to go, and that's a 3-yard loss.
Yes, Derek, one away from becoming Kansas City's all-time sack leader. Warren, that time a good-looking run out to the 47-yard line. Jaime Fields made the stop. Chris Warren with an 11-yard gain. Chris Warren in his 5th season out of Ferrum College in Virginia. Last year, 3rd in the AFC in rushing. 1,072 yards, emerging as Seattle's feature back. 3rd down and 3 at the 47. Here's Warren picking up the first down and some more. He broke tackles and finally hauled down by Mark Collins. 18 more for Warren.
When you see Marcus Allen, he runs to the hole. When you watch Chris Warren run, he glides. He glides and waits for his blocks. When you see Warren coming up, the blocking is outstanding. But watch him just glide. Here he sets himself. He's just... To me, I call it a glide. I know he's moving a lot faster than that, but he's just waiting for the holes to develop.
And Seattle first down at the Kansas City 35. Warren with a short pickup. Greg Pragan was playing for the injured Dan Saliamua, out with a knee injury, makes the stop. Greg Pragan spent 9 years with the Denver Broncos, primarily at nose tackle, signed with Kansas City as a free agent.
David Whitmore just came off. He's not hurt. Number 41 for Kansas City. He broke his helmet.
Now Warren with 4 consecutive rushes. Second down and 8. Make it 5 in a row. This time he's hit down. Loss of 1 on the play. Neil Smith with the tackle on Chris Warren.
Neil Smith looked like he hurt himself trying to get up and do his little dance, but here comes Neil Smith. Now, the tight end is green. He's blocking on Smith. Smith stands him straight up and then makes the tackle for a loss. Now watch, he's trying to get up. Yeah. Whoops. Kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
A 3rd and 9. Meyer. Diving attempt. Did he catch it? He did, but he was down and short of a first down. Brian Blades on the reception, and he is ruled down.
That time they got Kansas City. They were moving all over the place. The defense was never set, and Meyer went on the first count and got the offense of Seattle set early. And he gets the ball out to Blades. The question is, Blades touchdown?
And Tom Flores with a decision right here will go for the first down. This would be a 44-yard field goal attempt. He'll go for it, trailing 13-0. A 4th and 1. And he has the big back, the fullback, Steve Smith, picking up the first down.
Well, you know, how many times you see this happen, Marv? When you have the one back in the backfield, you know he's going to carry the ball, but everybody jams in the middle. Watch the middle jam. And all Smith does is just wait a count, and it slides left to the outside. When he does, he already has the first down. Nobody making the play.
And Tom Flores, always under control, very cool about picking up that first down. Let's alternate as fullbacks, and Smith came on to collect the first down. It's the second back coming through. Warren picking his way, running very well here in the 3rd quarter. And we're seeing a different Seattle Seahawk ball club coming off the ball.
Running the football. And again, Chris Warren gliding, sitting into the hole. Here, he's going to come right at you here, folks. Here comes Warren. Watch this. A little step, glides back to the outside, and then picks up 8 yards. Outstanding running. But it all starts with the blocking in the offensive line. This is the first time in this game, the first half, the offense wasn't on track. They are now.
Second down 2 at the Kansas City 13. Here's Warren. Again, able to work his way for a first down, and a flag comes flying out of the pack. Tracy Simeon made the stop on Warren, who has now run for 67 yards on 13 carries.
They're going to call a personal foul on Kansas City.
We have a dead ball, personal foul against 92, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Mickle, he hits Ray Roberts in the mouth. Number 73, the left tackle. Mickle is 92. When you're out in the open, they're going to find you. Fight last week, wasn't it?
Now, I'd like to hear your reaction when we get an opportunity on the Andre Rison and Sanders matchup last week. Not quite what we saw right here. It is a 1st and goal down at the 5. They're on their feet here at Arrowhead. Meyer with the handoff for Smith, and he stopped, picked up a couple. Stopped by Jamison.
You know, this is an area where you just pound those fullbacks up into the middle. You've got 2 very big fullbacks. You've got Tracy Johnson, number 43, and Steve Smith, number 35. Smith stays in.
Blades to the left. It's a 2nd and goal at the 3. John Vaughn has into the backfield along with Steve Smith. And this is Vaughn. Looks to be a mix-up at first, and he's able to dive in for the touchdown.
Boy, I tell you, Derek Thomas is totally upset with himself because he stuffs the play. He stuffs Smith, he stuffs Meyer, and in the backfield, and he stuffs Vaughn, but he gets no help. He threw his helmet on the ground because he was in the backfield making the play, jammed everything up, and then Smith breaks it back to the other side, and Vaughn does it, makes a touchdown.
John Vaughn, who has made it back from an eye injury Took a poke in the eye earlier this season, suffered internal bleeding, missed a couple of games. And a beautiful recovery by Vaughn to run it in. Now John Casey will attempt the extra point. So despite the Kansas City domination in the first half, it is only a 6-point lead.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Magnavox. Hey, we make technology people want. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. By Domino's Pizza. Call now and ask for our football special. It's gotta be Domino's. And by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola.
8:34 remaining third quarter. It is now the Chiefs 13, the Seahawks 7. Kansas City's best kick return man since Paul Palmer led the AFC back in 1987. That's Ron Dickerson. Among the leaders in that department. And John Casey will kick it off. Comes Dickerson out to the 15. Stutter steps his way and fumbles. The Seahawks feel they have recovered. Still no indication.
Ron Booker is walking over telling the offense to go back and sit down.
Officials looking to unravel the players.
Really amazing thing. You got all those guys laying on the ground. There's only one guy with the ball. The ones that don't have their hands on the ball get out. Kansas City feels they have the ball back.
This is taking an unusually long time.
The two guys are fighting for it underneath.
The indication is that Kansas City was able to recover.
Took a long time.
And Marty Schottenheimer in a face-to-face discussion with the kick return man, Ron Dickerson.
Well, look where they put Dickerson, only in the corner. It's the only place he can come is straight up the field. He can't go back across, and the ball's going to get knocked out right here. And the man that knocked it out was number 22, John Bond. Just scored a touchdown.
And it appeared Terrence Warren was on it, but apparently it squirted free, and the Chiefs able to maintain possession. Here's Montana on first down. He sidearms for Kimball Anders, who was on his knees. He had lost his balance.
All right, Marv, look at right here. On the top side, you're going to see Derek Thomas. He not only, right here, up in here, he hits everyone. He hits Smith, he hits Bond, and he hits Meyer. Meyer gets the ball back. Now watch, here, the thing that upsets Derek Thomas is when he throws his helmet is that there's nobody else there. He makes the play 2 yards deep in the backfield, and no one comes up to help him make the tackle. And he threw his helmet.
And the Seahawks very fortunate to come away with the touchdown off the confusion in the backfield that was caused by Thomas. Second down and 10 at the 20. Count up to the sideline, and a diving catch made. Danon Hughes stopped by Carlton Gray.
All right, here's the guy we're talking about. Watch, he's going to jam all three of these guys, the quarterback, the fullback, and the halfback. And he makes a terrific play, Derek Thomas. Here, bang, he hits Smith, Bond, and Meyer. Now look at this. He knocks three guys around, and then when he makes the play, look at the rest of the field. They don't come in and help. And that's why he's upset.
It's a 3rd and 5 at the 25. Pass intended for Marcus Allen, covered by the extra defensive back, Raphael Robinson. So 3 and out for the Chiefs. And suddenly you get the feeling that this game is turning.
Well, you know, the Seattle Seahawks were only down by 13. Maybe Joe Montana knew something at the end of the half when it was 4th down and about 5. Marvin, he wanted to go for it, but Marty Schottenheimer decided to kick the field goal. Maybe he did know something.
Yes, it appeared he was trying to talk Marty into going for it. Aguiar with the punt. Kelvin Martin on the return. And he's taken down at the 34. A flag has been thrown, though. 45-yard punt and an 8-yard return by Martin.
Well, Eugene Robinson, number 41, tackled
46-yard punt.
one of the Kansas City players.
5-yard return.
That's the referee, Dale Hamer.
Illegal block. Number 41 on the return. 10 yards. First down. Timeout.
Eugene Robinson, yeah, he tackled Mark Collins.
Timeout taken. We'll be right back.
Bruce Smith of the Bills, Chiefs linebacker Derek Thomas, and the Dolphins' Irving Pryor. All you need to know in one complete 30-minute helping. NFL Live next Sunday.
In recent games, things have gone the other way from the point of view of the Kansas City Chiefs. The wrong way defensively, giving up 20 points at San Diego, 28. Although a victory at Denver. That's the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, Dave Adolph. Seattle, first down from the 29. Warren trying to get to the outside and make the turn, could not, cut off by the left corner, Mark Collins.
Neil Smith just took himself out of the play. He went and took an inside move, and they just let him get inside.
3-yard gain for Warren, who has picked up 40 yards in the second half, 40 of the 70.
Now watch Neil Smith. He goes inside. They just pull out and block him and let him go inside.
Second and 7. Seattle from its 32. Warren reaching close to the 35.
On that last drive when Seattle went down and scored, they had 11 plays, 10 of them runs, only one pass, and they can back out here and run 2 running plays again.
Third down and 5 at the 35. The offense in this third quarter has been Chris Warren, guy they called Old Smooth because he makes things look so easy, has a very easygoing nature about him. Look out, Meyer in trouble, gets it away and almost caught by the tight end, Paul Green.
And look, I don't know how Derek Thomas got back to that fast. It looked like he was offside, but he wasn't. He can't believe, Derek Thomas cannot believe he missed him. And that Meyer got away. He's looking up at the scoreboard trying to see the replay. Look at this. Nobody touches him. Meyer steps back as he takes the 2 steps back. There's Derek Thomas. Meyer, what a great job just to get the ball off.
And Rick Tootin comes on. Punting to Danon Hughes. A good one. Hughes inside his 10. Looking for the sideline and then brought down as he crossed the 20. A 58-yard punt by Tootin and a 14-yard return. Tracy Johnson made the stop.
While we were away, we saw Marty Schottenheimer down there working the bench. There's his brother Kurt. He comes over. He's going to work it after Marty worked it.
Kurt Schottenheimer, yes, the special teams coach. From the 24-yard line, a straight-ahead move by Marcus Allen. Joe Nash on the stop. Witches, werewolves, and vampires. I raised the rhetorical question, Paul. Could it be that they actually exist? You can find out in an all-new special, The Unexplained, tonight at 7, 6 Central here on NBC. 5:40 remaining. The third, Seahawks were back in it. They were trailing 13-0 at the half. It's now 13-7. Second down and 5 for the Chiefs from the 29-yard line. A hole open momentarily for Greg Hill as he looks to pick up the first down. Terry Wooden made the stop, and it looks to be just short. Oh, no, it is a first down. So Hill picks it up. Earlier in the game, receiver J.J. Burton went down with a lower back contusion. He is definitely through the rest of the way. And the left tackle John Alt with a back problem. could return, but he's out right now, replaced by Derek Graham. Graham on the left, and now Sigler on the right. Here's Montana. Trying to go to the flat, and for the third time today, his pass knocked down.
Boy, that was dangerous because they're not knocking him down. They're knocking him up in the air where they have a chance to get it. And the guy, Antonio Edwards, here they come again. Patulski, number 58, is up there, but number 93, Brent Williams, the guy that knocks it up in the air, and Antonio Edwards had a second shot at an interception.
2nd down and 10. Kansas City from its 34. Kendall Anders out to the 40-yard line. The Kansas City Chiefs have won the last 6 games against the Seattle Seahawks, 9 of the last 11. KC with only 1 loss the last 12 here at Arrowhead. The Seahawks' lone victory when Derek Thomas set that NFL record with 7 sacks. The lone victory during that span. That came in November of 1990, only to see Dave Craig, then of Seattle, throw a last-second scoring pass in a 1-point victory. 3rd down and 4. Off the punt. Montana complete. Dawson with another big gainer. Waters made the stop. That's good for 23. And Lake Dawson has had an exceptional afternoon.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what Dawson does. He gets open, but watch Montana's head. When we go back, hold it right here. Hold it. Montana is looking out here for Kimball Anders, and he sees that he's covered. Now watch him pull it down. Then he sees Dawson just setting up about 10 yards downfield. You talk about heads up and knowing where you are on the field at all times. That's Joe Montana.
23-yard gain. 1st down of the Seattle 37. Davis in motion. Play action. The screen pass completed to Davis. He's right at the line of scrimmage. Waters on the tackle.
You know, Montana, I mean, he doesn't surprise me. He amazes me, but he doesn't surprise me. I mean, he sees everything. You know, we were talking to Marty Schottenheimer about it. When I first got into coaching, one of the things I did is I got behind the offensive huddle, and even in practice. And I'm watching all these bodies flying around all over the place. And he said, and now I know why the quarterbacks make the money they make. He said, because they have to see everything, Marv.
It's a 2nd and 9 at the 36-yard line. Marcus Allen breaking through. Marcus Allen for the touchdown. A 36-yard touchdown run.
I don't think he was even touched. I mean, that hole was there, and Marcus Allen, when you say north-south runner, he runs straight ahead. It was a thing of beauty. It's a situation. The Chiefs are going to call timeout because they need to go for 2.
A timeout taken, and we'll be back with the conversion in a moment.
Well, in this touchdown, I said he wasn't. I didn't think he was touched, and he wasn't. I'm going to show you a couple of great blocks by Grunhard, number 61 and 68 Shields. Hold on right here, boys. This guy here, watch this block, and then watch this block here on Wooden, and then Marcus is going to cut back up in here, and nobody touches him. Here are the blocks. Is that perfect? That is absolutely beautiful. Not a hand laid on him.
And he went 36 yards. That's his 2nd longest run the last 6 years. And the Chiefs going for the 2. 1 for 1 in terms of 2-point conversion. Montana with the handoff to Allen, and he's in. Well, Marcus with 8 points in that sequence. And the Chiefs lead 21-7.
Wendy's celebrates 25 years of being the best in the business. In the 1974 playoffs, Oakland trailed Miami by 5 in the final seconds. Do you remember who Ken Stabler connected with on the dramatic game winner? Stabler somehow found Clarence Davis in a sea of hands for the winning score.
He throws. It is. He caught it.
Another great football moment from the past 25 years.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, a great doubleheader on NBC. Jim Kelly and the Bills take on Joe Montana and the Chiefs in a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. Then one of the great quarterbacks from the class of '83, Dan Marino, goes up against one of the best from the class of '93, Drew Bledsoe, as the Dolphins battle the Patriots for regional action next Sunday.
The old 8-point play executed by Marcus Allen, his 4th touchdown of the season, followed up by the 2-point conversion, and the Chiefs lead 21-7, 2:43 to go in the 3rd. Marv Albert with Paul Maguire from Kansas City. The kickoff from Lynn Elliott, taken again by Michael Bates, out to the 25, protecting the football as he carries to the 33-yard line, and the kicker, Lynn Elliott, involved on that tackle.
All right, here's we're going to see 2 linebackers. First of all, we're going to see Wooden get blocked in right. We'll hold this for a second. Bang, bang. And then right in here, you're also going to see Rod Stevens get blocked. These 2 guys get knocked out. Marcus cuts back in. Not a hand laid on him.
And for Marcus Allen, touchdown number 117, moves into the number 4 spot in front of John Riggin. That's all-time career touchdown. Seattle from its 34. The quarterback, Rick Meyer. Incomplete off the hands of the tight end, Farrell Edmonds, who was covered by Derek Thomas.
Well, Meyer's going to have to throw the ball to get him back in the ballgame. They ran down the field on the first drive after the half, and that took about almost 6.5 minutes. But here it is, Evans coming across, and he's going to sit in front of the linebackers. The ball hits him right in the hands. You've got to catch him. Got to catch the ball.
Meyer only 6 of 11 to 40 yards, sacked twice. 2nd down and 10. Warren hit behind the line. A loss on the play. Darren Mickle, the right defensive end, stopping Warren.
I mean, you only run those plays so many times, and then they're gonna line up and get after it. Seattle in the second half, they've had some success running the football, but in order to really get back in this ballgame, Meyer's got to throw the ball, and he's got to throw the ball downfield.
Meyer looking at a 3rd and 12 from the 32-yard line. And he does throw downfield, and Blades try to turn back to adjust, but could not hold on.
Mark Collins was covering Blades, and Meyer actually throws this ball where it has to be thrown, behind, because if he throws it in front, as you see, Mark Collins might be able to make a play on the ball. So he throws behind, and then Blades makes the turn, but can't hold on to the ball. Hits him in the hands.
And it's 3 and out. Bringing on Rick Tootin for the 5th time. He's had a very fine day. Damon Hughes is back inside his 30. And the fair catch handled by Hughes. A 50-yarder for Rick Tootin, who's had an excellent year, and the ball goes back to Kansas City coming into today. Concern about the Chiefs running the football. We touched on it earlier, but thanks to a couple of good long runs, one in particular by Marcus Allen. Kansas City, 23 rushes, 126 yards. So, Paul, they're averaging 5.5 yards per carry.
And what we said at the beginning of the show, Marv, the team that can run the ball most effectively will win this football game. And the Kansas City Chiefs today, I mean, 2 games before, over 50 passes a game. Now they're evening everything up with running and passing.
Danny Villa has come out of right guard for Will Fields for this 1st down play. Dawson refusing to go down. Lake Dawson finally taken down by Robinson and Waters.
Lake Dawson, Marty Schottenheimer talking about him, said he's really coming on strong. He said it's just a little hitch on the outside. You don't go very far, and you wait for everyone else to get downfield and block for you. But nobody blocked anyone, so Dawson does it on his own. He picks up almost 9.
It will be a 2nd down and a yard at the 28-yard line. It's Davis in motion. Off the handoff, Hill has a 1st down. met by Terry Wooden. Greg Hill, the rookie out of Texas A&M, first-round draft pick. He's averaging about 4 yards per carry. Has a first down at the 32 with time running out. In this third quarter, we're down to 40 seconds remaining. The Chiefs 21 and the Seahawks 7.
This will be a running play. How smart I am. Keep the clock moving. Or
give us a couple more after the ball. Yeah. Deep downfield for Davis. Willie Davis makes the catch, beating Orlando Waters, and that's good for 48. You may want to hold on to the future play calling suggestions here.
I had one more option. I was going to say a long pass down to Willie.
Yeah. On that note, we'll end the third quarter. The Chiefs up 21-7 over the Seahawks. Back after this from your local station. Well, the matchup today has been decisively in favor of Joe Montana as he tries to make it 3 out of 3 against fellow Notre Dame alum Rick Myra, Kansas City, taking both meetings against Seattle last year. Marcus Allen, short pickup, stopped by Terry Wooden. Now, Paul, would you want to throw in another option off this play calling?
It was either going to be a long pass or a quick kick. So I went with I'm going to go with the long pass to Davis. Now, Waters has excellent coverage here. Watch the concentration by Davis all the way to the ball and makes the catch. I mean, the defensive back was there all over him, but Davis makes a sensational catch.
That was Montana's 30th pass of the game. Last week, he threw 54. The previous week, 55. Looking for number 31. Unleashes for the end zone. Touchdown! A wide open Lake Dawson, who beat Orlando Waters. A 21-yard touchdown pass play.
This is what Eugene Robinson was telling us yesterday. When you think you have Montana bottled up, you don't. And you can't leave your receivers because he's going to find the guy that's open. Montana steps up to the inside, and when he does, he sees Lake Dawson wide open in the end zone and hits him for the touchdown.
Lynn Elliott adds the extra point. And the Chiefs take a 28-7 lead on the Seattle Seahawks.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Acura. Some things are worth the price. By Compaq. Look for the new Presario computers for that small business you call home. By Zima, a unique alcohol beverage. And by UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL.
45 seconds into the fourth quarter, and Kansas City is on the board again. The touchdown pass from Joe Montana to Lake Dawson. Dawson, with his 5th catch of the day, certainly taking advantage of the additional playing time because of the injury suffered by J.J. Verdon. Lynn Elliott kicking it off to Michael Bates and John Vaughn. This time a short kick handled by Vaughn. Out across the 20. Up to the 30. And a good return by Vaughn. Run out by Charles Mincy.
All right, up here on the top side is Lake Dawson. This is Waters. He's going to fall down about right in here. We're going to see it. And Montana's going to read it. The rush is on, and then Montana steps up into the pocket. Now, hold it right here. Here goes Waters down. When he goes down, watch Montana find the open guy. He throws. Dawson is there. Waters can't get back. Touchdown.
Paul, I know they're watching in South Bend, Indiana, and enjoyed the Notre Dame connection. The center, Tim Grunhard, member of the Fighting Irish, to the quarterback, Joe Montana, to the rookie from Notre Dame, Lake Dawson. And another Notre Dame man, Meyer, for Warren. Chris Warren picked up 5 on the play. The coverage provided by David Whitmore, and there you saw Lake Dawson playing despite an injured shoulder. In college, he was primarily a big play possession receiver, third-round draft pick. 5 catches, including his first NFL touchdown.
I can guarantee your shoulder's not bothering him at all.
Second down and 4. Warren bottled up.
Seattle Seahawks in their first drive after the second half kickoff, they moved right down the field. 11 plays, 10 of them running plays. They went in and scored a touchdown. And the offense, that was the shining moment for the offense. But since then, and up until then, nothing had happened.
3rd and 3. Third down and 3. Seattle from its 45-yard line. Tom Flores telling us last night how important today's game is. If they could somehow come up with a win over Kansas City, it would put them at 4-3, and they're playing a soft 5th place schedule, very favorable schedule from, well, at least next Sunday at San Diego, following next Sunday home for Cincinnati. That's back at the Kingdome. The roof repairs apparently have been completed. Then at Denver, and then back home for Tampa Bay. But they were hoping to pull off a surprise here today.
Well, I'd like to come out next week in San Diego. One out of these 2 would be very nice for them to go into the rest of this game. The problem right now with it is they can't stop the clock. And here's what we're talking about. After San Diego, they got Cincinnati, Denver, Tampa Bay, and then Kansas City again at home, but then Indianapolis and Houston. So they have a pretty good schedule going down that 5th place spot. And the problem right now with the officials, they can't stop the clock, and it's running time, but on one scoreboard at the end, it has the Chiefs 28 and the Seahawks 55, which I don't think anybody here is going to buy it. There you go, right there. See that? Chiefs 28, Seahawks 55, and I'll tell you, I missed a whole bunch of touchdowns.
What a prolific 4th quarter for Seattle.
Yes, they're doing very well.
But they have had electrical problems right throughout the day here at Arrowhead.
Either that or the timer has to catch a plane.
Clock is still running, and the officials waiting it out, hoping to be able to straighten this out.
And if you wonder, folks, how they know what time really is when they blew the clock dead or whatever they did, is that the clock is always kept, the official time is always kept by an official on the sideline. So it is, that clock is never the official time in a ball game.
Well, now they will resume. It is a 3rd down and 3. Meyer with a bullet pass. And let's see, will it complete a pass? If so, it's a fumble. Calvin Martin had it batted away, took a shot. Doug Terry on the fumble recovery. And let's see if they blow it dead.
Jay Taylor was one of the guys in on the play, number 27, who is the 6th defensive back. The question is, was it blown dead? Was he down? Seattle seems to think so. Never listen to the players. I've been wrong all day listening to these guys, or watching them.
Recovery by Doug Terry, who's made it back from knee surgery, seeing his first action of the season. Referee Dale Hamer looking for some room, does not want to get involved in a discussion with the players. You see people being guided away. Jaime Fields told to take a walk.
Yeah. Players try to help out. Here we go.
Moving on the field. Okay. Fumble. First down, Kansas City.
Well, it is recovered by Doug Terry, and it will be Kansas City ball.
Again, number 27, Jay Taylor, is in on this play. Here it comes. Bang, bang. The ball comes out. You know, this is an excellent call. It really is, because the ball is stripped before you get down. Here it is. Boom. That's number 27, Jay Taylor, who strips the ball away. That's a good call.
And the Chiefs take over at the Seahawk 42-yard line, about 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Attack to the ground. Greg Hill has a first down. Hauled in by the free safety, Eugene Robinson.
You know, the major thing about the Kansas City running game in this ball game, which to me is kind of hard to believe, running up into the middle against Cortez Kennedy and Joe Nash and Sam Adams, is that the Kansas City Chiefs have been running this ball, Marv, from tackle to tackle. They're running inside on on the Seattle Seahawks. Kansas City 141 yards rushing in this ball game. Man, Hill 57 of them.
Dawson is to the left, Davis to the right. Off the reverse. This is Dawson. Oh, he got the tackle. Beautiful moves by Lake Dawson on an end around.
Antonio Edwards really makes a great play, number 67 for Seattle, but he gets no help because Gray, number 26, misses. Watch number 67 come upfield here. He slows down Dawson. He makes a play to the outside. There he is there. He slows him down. Now look at Gray comes up. Dawson makes a move on him and picks up 8 or 9 yards on the play. Here it is. There's Edwards making the play, and then Gray not making the tackle.
Second down and 1. Hill has a first down and a couple more. This has to be particularly satisfying for Lake Dawson, who grew up in the state of Washington, in Federal Way in Washington, then attended Notre Dame and has had a breakout game here this afternoon.
I'll tell you another thing, this is a tired defensive football team. They've been on the field an awful long time. And Kansas City have been switching backs all over the place. Marcus Allen may not play again. Because of any injury, he's just giving him a rest.
All right, first down play, and it's Janelle Bennett into the 16. Stopped by Robert Blackman. Janelle Bennett, second-round draft pick out of Miami. Usually a strong, physical inside runner. That time to the outside.
Now we have the clock that stopped totally at 9:48, so we really don't have any idea how much time. 10:35. Thank you very much. I just asked, the official gave it to me. Dale Hamer gave me 10:35.
Paul, the Chiefs continue to shuffle on the offensive line. Villa is in there now. On the sideline. Villa, Bernhardt, Fields, Sigler, that hole opened up. And again, Greg Hill gets the call. The Kansas City Chiefs with a 28-7 lead on the Seattle Seahawks that led 13-0 at the half, and the Seahawks ran off that impressive drive thanks to the good running by Chris Warren, and were able to score to cut it to 13-7, but it has turned back around. Marcus Allen, 36-yard run. Joe Montana, 21-yard pass play to Lake Dawson for a touchdown. 3rd and 2. And here's Hill. Stopped short of the first down by Bob Spatulski. He's played well. Spatulski, in his 3rd season out of Central Florida, we have been calling his name right throughout the game.
Yeah, and we're seeing a reaction now from the Kansas City fans. They're booing because it's 4th down and about a yard, and now they want him to go for it. They're up 28-7. Marty, field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal. I said it, field goal.
And it's from 27 yards away. So for Elliott, it's 3 of 4, and he extends the lead.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and ask for our football special. When it's got to be good, and it's got to be now, it's got to be Domino's.
Eight minutes, 52 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Kansas City Chiefs have opened up a 31-7 lead on Cortez Kennedy and his Seattle Seahawks.
Boy, Cortez, you have a right to be tired, man. You've been out there for a long, long time. Whew.
All right, Elliott will kick it off to Bates and Vaughn. And here comes Bates. He's able to accelerate, and he's taken down across the 35-yard line. We'll look at our lineup next week. The big game early, Kansas City going against Buffalo, and the late game, Seattle, San Diego, Miami, New England, Houston Raiders, Cleveland, Denver. A rematch of the AFC Championship game last January. Thurman Thomas running it in. Buffalo coming away with a 30-13 victory. Last season, the Chiefs went 11-5 to win the AFC West in the wild card. They beat Pittsburgh in overtime, knocked off Houston in the divisional, and then lost to Buffalo. Farrell Edmonds on the catch, stopped by Tracy Simeon. So KC and Buffalo in our feature game. That'll be early. It gets underway with NFL Live starting at 12:30 Eastern Time.
We just saw Steve Smith, the fullback, go in motion, run out of the backfield, and no one covered him.
Second down and 2 at the 30. And Meyer completes for the first down, hooking up with Brian Blades. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs with a 31-7 lead, pulling away here in the fourth quarter. And in just a moment, we will be switching a good portion of our network to the Pittsburgh Steelers New York Giants game. Pittsburgh has just moved in front by the score of 10-6 at the New Jersey Meadowlands. That's in the fourth quarter. Chris Warren gets inside the 45-yard line, stopped by Tracy Simeon.
Tracy Simeon on the stop. Two on the play at 2nd and 8.
So in the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh 10 and the Giants 6. Second down and 8 at the 44. And Myers' pass behind the tight end Farrell Edmonds.
Wasn't even close. It was not even close. This offense today, other than that one drive right after the first half, Marv, it just looked like they've been out of sync. And it's a better football team than this.
Paul, while we have a moment here, we were talking about the Deion Sanders, Andre Rison scrap of a week ago. It's a third down and 7 for the Seahawks at the 44-yard line. Chris Warren finding a hole, has a first down, stiff arms his way. Chris Warren bumped out just shy of the goal line by Charles Mincy.
He just said to Jay Taylor, get your face out of my hand. He just stiff-armed. This was an excellent call on a third down situation, and they run this ball with blocking by Smith. Look at this, right up the middle, and right over here, right now is where he's going to put his hand in Taylor's face. Get out of my way. And you want to see if Chris Warren has some speed? Yes, he does. He gets knocked out of bounds at about the 3.5-yard line. But this is some outstanding blocking. We saw it again right after the half, some nice running. But here's Chris Warren again. Stiff arms Taylor. Nice run.
41-yard run.
First and goal.
And it will be a first and goal out of the 3-yard line. On the sideline getting a rest, Steve Smith and John Vaughn in the backfield. And Smith, the ball carrier, short of the goal line. Steve Smith, in his days with the Los Angeles Raiders, was the blocking back for Marcus Allen for some 6 seasons.
He's got a chance to carry the ball when they get in this close. The only problem with this whole thing, he just runs so much time off the clock. Mike Webster, center of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then here, of course, finished his career here. Now he's back.
Member of the chief staff helping out the offensive lineman. And that is a touchdown. Blades with his 3rd touchdown catch of the season, handling that bullet from Rick Meyer.
Did some little Australian rules football signal there in the end zone after he caught the ball. Yeah, he goes for 2. especially with the score at that end of the field. When they look up and it's the Chiefs 31 and the Seahawks 55 still,
Yes.
they're going to go for 2 and that and make it 57.
The actual score 31-13.
Yeah, please don't pay attention. But that score, it is funny. Now they got it down to 11. They got it to 0. We've had problems with the scoreboard all day. Here's Meyer now.
7 plays, 65 yards in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Set up by the 41-yard run by there for the 2-point conversion attempt. But Meyer will throw, and let's see.
Blades caught it in the end zone.
He was in.
He caught it in. They knocked him out. Marv went back in again.
Officials wanted to make sure, so they do get the 2. 119 yards on the ground for that man, Chris Warren. 41 yards just a moment ago to set up the Seattle touchdown. And with 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter, the Chiefs now lead the Seahawks 31-15.
And here comes the onside kick. I love this play. I really do. I think it's one of the great plays in football.
All right, Casey getting set. And a high hopper that carries out of bounds.
Outside kick went out of bounds.
No, I think this is a planned call because Charles Mincy is the guy that hits the ball and he just taps it over his shoulder. Don't try to field the ball, just knock it out of bounds, and that's what he tried to do.
Here we go. The ball was last touched by the receivers and went out of bounds. It is their ball, 1st and 10 at the spot where it went out of bounds. First down.
And Steve Bono has come on for Joe Montana. The stat line on Joe: 21 for 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another superb day for Montana. Here's Steve Bono, who has not thrown a pass this season. In his 5-year stay in San Francisco, did a nice job in backing up Joe Montana and Steve Young in his 10th year out of UCLA. And Bono with the handoff for Greg Hill. Short advance, Rod Stevens on the tackle. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, at the Meadowlands, the Steelers and the Giants. Bam Morris fumbled twice earlier, but has hung in there long enough to get this one into the end zone from 6 yards out. And the Steelers, with the extra point, lead at 10-6, under 5 minutes to play at the Meadowlands, Marv.
Thank you, Greg. And you see a very disappointed Greg Hill. Came up hobbling after that last running play and heads to the sideline, replaced by Ron Dickerson, who has carried the ball only 1 time thus far this season.
And one thing about that last running play, which is interesting, we talk about balance, and when you want balance, and Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday that he would like to have balance. Well, 31 passes with that last running play, 31 runs.
Backfield of Donnell Bennett, Ron Dickerson, quarterback Steve Bono, over the middle, complete his first pass for a first down. The tight end, Derek Walker.
And Eugene Robinson got nailed on that play coming up, trying to make the play, number 41 for Seattle, and he's still down. All right, here's a little quick toss over the middle to Walker, and Robinson gets hit underneath.
5 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter, Chiefs 31, 15 over the Seahawks. Welcome back to Arrowhead, Kansas City, Missouri. Capacity crowd, 79,000 on hand. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire. Just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Bono completes again. Eric Martin broke a tackle. Steve Bono throwing his first touchdown of the season, a 32-yarder.
Marv, when you're up by that many points, you wonder why they're throwing the football, because that's what the defense dictates. Bono looks out there and he sees that he has Martin wide open. Look at this one-on-one coverage. He runs to the inside. There is a missed tackle by number 31, Waters. Also, Gray, Martin touchdown. Good call.
Well, like Steve Bono, Eric Martin's in his first game action of the season. And Len Elliott adds the extra point. So the Chiefs now lead 38-15.
38-15, and Montana is happy for Bono. And watch, you'll see Bono's reaction here. Yeah, learned that well from Joe Montana. See Bono's throw. But I mean, this defense really dictates what to do here. Marv, take a look on the outside. If we can hold it right here, take a look. You've got a corner sitting back in here, and here's your receiver. There's really nobody there, and you've got to throw this pass because he's that far off. Then Waters comes up and misses the tackle.
And Paul, this has turned out to be a brutal day for the Seattle Seahawks, who coming in, the feeling was, hey, this is a sound defensive unit, and they have been ripped up by the Chiefs.
They really have been ripped up, and you know, talking to Cortez Kennedy yesterday, he was very confident that they were going to win this football game. But you talk about the point, the place that it puts this team. If San Diego goes on today and beats Denver, that means that Seattle will be 4 games away from San Diego, even though they have that easy schedule, Marv. They play San Diego next week, which could help if they could win the ball game. But I mean, to be 4 games out at this early in the season or halfway through the season is very tough to get back into it.
And there was some concern here in Kansas City that the Chiefs might suffer a letdown off the dramatic win over the Broncos on Monday night. That has not been the case. 469 total yards for Kansas City. Now John Vaughn on the return. Runs into the pack, stopped at the 29-yard line. Tracy Rogers involved with several others in making the stop. Well, coming up next, the conclusion of the Solheim Cup. The top women's golfers in America and Europe continue their battle for the Ryder Cup of women's golf. That's the prestigious Solheim. The conclusion coming up next right here on NBC.
Tied 3-3 after yesterday. Watching some. Very good.
A bulletin here, Paul?
Yeah, I just want to bring up the bulletin.
First down at the 29-yard line for the Seattle Seahawks. Meyer. And it is dropped. Kelvin Martin couldn't hold on. The coverage by Jay Taylor.
The House Ballard just buried Derek Thomas. He came in, he pushed him on the ground, and he was kind of thankful, I think, Derek Thomas, that he didn't fall on him. He's down about 10 pounds. He's down to like a 2-bedroom condo now.
Nice, Paul.
The House. What a nice man he is.
Listed at 6'6", 332 pounds. He's come back from a sprained ankle injury. Here's Vaughn. John Vaughn with the first down pick up. George Jameson making the stop. And the Seahawks take a timeout. We're down to 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And Seattle will have a first down at their 40-yard line.
These guys sitting there on the bench, that's the defense, and I'll tell you, they are tired. There's Blackman sitting there, and he is shaking his head like, man, did we get whooped. It's not been a fun day.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Tom Flores had labeled that loss to the Indianapolis Colts 3 weeks back one of the low points of his coaching career. I would say this would be right in the
top 2.
Oh, yeah. Not a pleasant trip to the Midwest for the Seahawks. Play action. Meyer, this time able to complete to Martin. That's a 23-yard hookup. And Seattle in its hurry up. They have a first down at the Kansas City 38-yard line. Under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Meyer to the sideline. Complete again, intended for Martin, covered by Taylor. Let's check in again with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
Marv, the Browns special teams just killed the Bengals. They scored 2 special teams touchdowns in their first meeting. They've scored 2 today. This is the second. Eric Metcalf going 73 yards with a punt return, under 8.5 to play in Cleveland. And the Browns looking to continue the Bengals' winless ways. They lead it 27-13, Marv.
All right, Greg. Seattle now 2nd and 10 at the Kansas City 37-yard line. And Meyer goes incomplete. Pass intended for Terrence Warren.
You want to get something to happen in this game? Let's talk about the Deion Sanders fight again. Want to do that?
You know, you brought it up on several occasions and never finished the story. You can tell us all on the car to the airport, Paul.
There was a fight, fight last week, and I called New York to find out about why the 2 guys were not thrown out of the ball game.
Called anybody in particular in New York?
Just a source in the NFL office,
in the league office,
and they told me that it's not the rule after this fight. Get it in.
It's a 3rd down and 10. Meyer can't find anyone and is able to run for the first down.
But in the rule book reads that you're not necessarily automatically ejected from the game. You can be thrown out for fighting. These guys went toe-to-toe last week. So I said, well, wait a minute. What about the officials that let it happen? They said they will, when they evaluate these guys, they will be evaluated down. And when you say something like that, there's no fine for the officials. But what happens is that the officials in that game, the whole crew will be evaluated down. It affects their chances to do playoff games, Super Bowl. And so that's what happens. But these 2 guys should have been thrown out of the ball game.
No question. So it will affect perhaps the quality of the type of games that they get later in the season.
Exactly.
Apparently Meyer was just short of a first down and now able to sneak for the first down on a 4th and 1 as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Chiefs with a 38-15 commanding lead on the Seahawks. And it's dropped by Warren.
It's kind of the way the day's been going. Meyer, this time, Warren's had a great day running the ball. I think 119 yards rushing. But they've never really been able to get anything going in this ball game.
2nd and 10 at the Chiefs' 26-yard line. And Meyer throwing for the end zone. Calvin Martin, well covered by Jay Taylor. Well, the employee owners of Avis salute the game's most valuable player, no question about it, Joe Montana, the winner of today's We Try Harder Award. Joe Montana with another excellent performance. 21 of 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he is our MVP, presented by Avis, the official rental company of the NFL. Play action, and the sidearm pass handled by Blades. So Blades has a first down. That's good for 16.
I like this play the way they run it, though, with Meyer, because he extends the ball out and lets the defense see it. It's like it's going to be a long handoff, and he just pulls the ball back down and gets himself back to the outside.
It is a first down at the 10. And this is Vaughn with a short pickup. John Vaughn spent 2 years with the New England Patriots. This is 2nd season with Seattle. Stopped by Jaime Fields and a timeout taken by the Seahawks. Well, 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Joe Montana now can look ahead to next week at Buffalo, as can Marcus Allen, who had a terrific game. A look at the Kansas City schedule. Buffalo next week, then 3 straight at home. They play 4 of the next 5 at home. 3 straight, the Raiders, San Diego, And Cleveland coming up here at Arrowhead. Meyer lofts it. Brian Blades in the area.
And after, there's George Brett on the sidelines. Looking for a bat. There's no baseball. You don't play baseball anymore. But you know, you take a look at after Buffalo, out of those next four, 3 of them are in their division. So they can really make a move in their division, at least getting to the wild card part of it.
Third down play from the 9. Meyer with a bullet. Touchdown. Brian Blades. And Brian Blades with his second touchdown reception of the game and his 4th of the year.
That's that Australian rules football move. The official, when the ball goes through, puts his 2 arms down. Well, Blades, he's developed his style. He's going for Australian rules football. That's what they do. If you ever watched it, Marv, once he catches the pass, it's a nice throw by Meyer across the middle of Blades. Gets into the end zone and then runs to the back. Gives it the official.
And again, the Seahawks going for the 2-point conversion. Vaughn has it. 13 plays, 71 yards in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And they come up with 8 points. So Kansas City now leads 38-23.
You never tell Tom Flores that he's out of a football game. And the players should understand that anything can happen in a ball game. There's 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go. We're going to see probably another onside kick. They are 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions from winning. I know it sounds kind of strange the way they've been playing all day long, but they're still in the ball game.
It was a 13-0 game at the half. Kansas City on top. They had dominated in every category. And then Seattle was able to score midway through the 3rd quarter to cut it to 13-7. It appeared to be a game in contention, but Kansas City was able to extend the lead. Marcus Allen with a 36-yard touchdown run followed by a 2-point conversion. Made it 21-7. Then Montana to Lake Dawson on a 21-yard touchdown pass. And it was 28-7. A 27-yard field goal by Elliott made it 31-7. And Meyer to Blades, 31-15. Steve Bono came on for Joe Montana with a touchdown pass. Now Meyer to Blades. And here's the onside once again. That is covered up by the Chiefs' Charles Mincy. Charles Mincy, backup defensive back in his 4th year out of the University of Washington.
Seahawks have 1 timeout plus the 2-minute, so they'll run it down to the 2-minute here. And if they stop it and take the timeout right after the first play, and maybe have a chance to get the ball back 1 more time.
Well, there you see, as Greg Gumbel reported, Cleveland with a 27-13 lead over Cincinnati. Redskins with a come-from-behind effort against the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Everett and the New Orleans Saints doing it against the Rams. And Bono hands it off. Ron Dickerson stopped by Cortez Kennedy. Ron Dickerson with only his 2nd carry. The correction is Greg Hill on the carry.
Working to be the best. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. The Buffalo Bills' drive for 5 Super Bowls depends on their familiar passing partnership, Kelly to Reed.
Back to throw, Kelly. Time. Fires it downfield. Wide open. Touchdown, Andre Reed. Holy smoke. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that?
Jim Kelly and Andre Reed help make the Bills the best they can be.
Back at Arrowhead, 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and the Chiefs have a 38-23 lead on the Seahawks. 2nd down and 6 for Kansas City. And again to the ground, Donnell Bennett, stopped by Cortez Kennedy. And it is a 3rd down and 3.
Seattle takes its final timeout.
And that is a final score Pittsburgh over the Giants 10-6. So the Giants, after opening up at 3-0, have dropped 4 in a row. This is something Seattle can relate to. They opened up the season at 3-1. And they are on the way to making it 3 straight losses and 4 of the last 5.
You know, and it's really hard. They've had so many injuries before the season even started to try to make up, and then they're having a lot of problems defensively. It's been historically a good defensive football team, and offensively is where they struggled. But today, the defense was on the field most of the day, and they had a tough time trying to stop Joe Montana. When you think you have him corralled, you don't. And you know, the indication was yesterday with Eugene Robinson, who was telling us that. He said, you know, it's the most frustrating thing what Joe Montana does to you. You think you have him, you can never let your man go. We saw that with Lake Dawson. Touchdown.
3rd down and 4. And Greg Hill is turned back short of the 1st down. Well, coming into this game, Seattle trying to reverse a trend that saw them go 0-5 after a bye week since the NFL instituted byes in 1990, and headed to 0-6 in that department. It is a 4th and 2. Clock is running. 1:20 to go. Crowd has been filing out the last couple of minutes. Into the line, Bennett.
Seattle's ball. They don't make it.
So Bennett stopped short of the 1st down, and Seattle will take over on downs. And the clock is stopped with 1:06 to go. Following that Monday night game, Marty Schottenheimer was saying during the course of the week that he and his wife Pat got home at about 4 in the morning and found a note from the daughter Kristen. She had taped the game and said something to the effect as Meyer fires incomplete. Congratulations. Welcome home, Mom and Dad. This tape is in case you want to indulge yourself beyond midnight. For whatever reason, Schottenheimer could not get the VCR to work until his daughter woke up and then helped so they could check out all the exciting action from the Montana Magic that was pulled off Monday night in Denver.
Well, Marty has a rule here in Kansas City, and this applies to the coaches and the players. It's the midnight rule after a ball game. Once it becomes midnight, the game is over with. That night, you forget about the game that was played. Whether you win or lose it, you get on to the next game.
You could operate the VCR.
Well, you know, they're a little tricky. You got to hit that one button that says play.
Pass intended for Brian Blades, covered by Derek Thomas. Well, coming up next, the conclusion of the Solheim Cup. It's right here on NBC, the top women's golfers in America and Europe in their battle for what is called the Ryder Cup of women's golf. We're down to 57 seconds to go, and it's a 3rd down and 10 at the 30. It will not be a pleasant plane ride back to Seattle for the Seahawks as Blades makes the catch short of the 1st down.
50 seconds inside 50. They can't stop the clock anymore, and 4th down.
It is a 4th and 4, and the clock is running down to 35 seconds. This, for all intents and purposes, is clinical at this point. It is a sack of Rick Meyer by Neil Smith. His first of the day, and that is 6.5 for the season. 3rd time that Meyer has been sacked.
Just been a miserable day for the offense. Chris Warren did have 119 yards rushing the ball, but throughout the ball game, it was one complete drive that almost got Seattle back in the ball game. You talked about it a few times, Marv. Right after half, they were down 13-0. Got back to 13-7, and then it just went right back to where it was in the 1st half. Not much going.
And the Chiefs able to balance things out, able to run the ball 36 times for 173 yards, and now they are just running out the clock. See the time running down, and they hear it from the remaining crowd here at Arrowhead Stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Seattle Seahawks 38-23 in their first of 2 meetings this season. And the Chiefs go to 5-2 as they pursue the undefeated San Diego Chargers. Seattle drops to a record of 3 up and 4 down. That's the final. We'll be back in a moment. Well, Joe Montana has made it 3 out of 3 in his games against Rick Myron. Final again, Kansas City 38, Seattle 23. The Chiefs now 5-2. The Seahawks 3-4. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire saying so long from Kansas City. Stay tuned for the Solheim Cup.